Hey everybody, welcome back to React TCG. Um, Last week we took a break from Death Battles so that we could wait for the new one to come out. It is not out yet, it'll be out in half an hour. I wanted to record a little bit earlier, but shit happens. Um, anyway, by the time this video is done, or by the time I'm done recording, it will obviously be out because I'm going to react to it at the end. Um, just a quick update on how things are going to work. Um, after or I was planning on doing some new stuff after this video, but I've decided since it's going to be releasing on Sunday, and I usually release singles on a Wednesday, I'll wait this week. So next week, though, let's say next weekend, how the schedule will start working is Saturdays will be new episode of React TCG, um, which lets it be out by itself for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Then Tuesday, um, I'll be starting a new, not really new, but I'll be making a new playlist called Character Collections, where I'll take each of the different death battles that a character has been in and put them all together in one video. So, like Goku versus Superman, instead of doing, instead of having three separate videos, I'll put all of them together. That way, people who want to watch just those fights don't have to jump around to different videos. They can just watch it all in one sitting. Um, so that will be happening. Those will be happening next Tuesday, not this coming Tuesday, but next Tuesday. So once August starts. Um, then on instead of Wednesdays, the singles will be moved to Thursdays. So that will just be, what it's always been, which is the five videos that got reacted to in the latest episode of React TCG, uh, separated into five smaller videos that you can watch them, you know, one at a time if that's what you prefer. Some people don't like long videos, they prefer shorter ones, and even then, my videos are still like between 20 and 40 minutes. Um, and then it will go back to, Saturday again, new episode of React TCG. Just keep going like that until I've posted all the character sagas I can. Once I've posted all my character sagas, um, it will go back to regular schedule of singles on Wednesdays, new episode of React TCG on Saturday, or sometime on the weekend. Um, so yeah, now that we got all that out of the way, let's get into the first episode here, or the first video here. We've got Bakugo versus Reze. I think that's how you say her name. I don't watch Chainsaw Man. I'm going with Bakugo simply because I don't watch Chainsaw Man, so I don't know how strong this chick is. I have, however, seen some of the shit Bakugo can do, and I mean, I've only seen up to like season 3 or 4 or something like that, so I know he gets stronger. Uh, so yeah, let's hop right into this one then. Oh,
Well,
hold on. There we go.
look who's
Apparently my sound was muted.
Bakugo versus Reze, the god of explosions versus the bomb devil. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Ah, Wiz, there's nothing like the smell of napalm in the morning, the rush of the shockwave, the flash of combustion. I love it when stuff goes boom. And no one
Yeah,
knows that
makes
feeling
sense.
better than Katsuki Bakugo. When your name literally means power.
This name actually means power bomb. That's hilarious. Alright, real name Katsuki Bakugo. Height 5'8" or 172 centimeters. 25 years old. Really? Damn, okay, I guess they must have done a time skip at the end of the fucking show or something. Birthday is 420. Hell yeah. Uh, fifth ranked pro hero. Nice, not bad. Sure, he's not gonna settle for that, but not bad. Quirk is Explosion, also known as the Bombshell Hero, uh, Great Explosion, Murder God Dynamite. Likes winning, blowing stuff up, and Kirishima. Ace's
Powerful
BFF.
bomb? It's no wonder he was born with the quirk, Explosion. It lets Bakugo create humongous kabooms from his palms. I can only dream of having hands that rad.
Quirks are genetic superpowers that most humans are born with.
Yep.
Bakugo inherited his quirk from his parents. Specifically, it was a combination of his father's combustible
Right, so his dad's quirk is Acid Sweat. The acid-like sweat he secretes from his palms can be ignited and detonated. Okay.
acid sweat and his mother's
And his mom's quirk was Glycerin. She has its preservative qualities to thank for her good skin. So young looking. Okay, so it combines the acid and glycerin, allowing him to. How's he ignited though?
glycerin skin secretions.
Making Bakugo sweat basically like nitroglycerin. And the more he sweats, the bigger the booms. His parents basically made the perfect kid, absolutely oozing with shonen main character energy.
Bakugo felt similarly, so much so that he started bullying his childhood friend who happened to be born without a quirk.
Yeah, okay, he's kind of a
Fucking
snot-nosed
dick.
turd sometimes, but come on, Wiz! The kabooms!
He's an asshole.
They're so cool!
Quirks are a natural biological feature of a person's body.
Yeah.
In the same way that we don't really think about walking or breathing, Bakugo's explosions became like any other limb, especially with his rigorous training.
Bakugo
It would go so freaking hard.
God fucking
so I
damn.
should just get the card. The card should just come to me.
Skip.
quickly picked up on how to use his explosions to obliterate anything in sight, block attacks, launch himself around, and quickly maneuver in midair at hypersonic speeds, which requires a ton of focus and on-the-fly calculations.
And despite getting this incredibly dangerous quirk when he was 4, he somehow never killed himself or anyone else that we know of. Bakugo
Not
was
from lack
truly
of
a
trying.
prodigy, destined for greatness.
And his only goal was to surpass Japan's numero uno superhero and his personal idol, All Might. In Bakugo's mind, the only person who wins no matter what. Absolute victory. No problem for the main character.
Except
he's
Katsuki
not the main
wasn't
character.
the protagonist that he thought he was. That
Yeah.
would be Izuku Midoriya, the quirkless child Bakugo bullied. In truth, he was threatened by Izuku's tenacity despite being quirkless.
Really? That crybaby's the main character? Well,
Yeah.
Bakugo's inferiority complex would only get worse when Deku somehow landed a quirk that was just as cool, and both were accepted to the same superhero high school, UA
UA
High.
Academy.
There, he would learn to be a
Nitroglycerin like sweat. Quirk factor is in his palms. Can be detonated remotely. Support gear. Grenadier bracers. Grenades. Suppressive heavy mobile unit. Strafe Panzer. What? Ultimate moves. Turbo speed. Stun grenade. Explodapult. Armor piercing shot. Howitzer impact. I love that one. And cluster.
superhero and fully develop his ultimate moves.
Like flying through the sky faster than sound with turbo speed, blinding people with stun grenade, focusing his blasts into armor-piercing shots, or making a big-ass tornado of death.
The howitzer impact involves Bakugo spinning himself in midair with his explosions, building up a tremendous amount of swirling oxygen, and then igniting it all for one hell of a boom.
He's pretty smart when it comes to strategizing mid-fight. He even developed new techniques for his quirk faster than Deku did.
AP
UA
shot.
also aided Bakugo's development by preparing him with his iconic Grenadier bracers, gauntlets that allow him to store up his sweat, gross, for prolonged bouts, or to release all of it at once in a single massive blast.
He's also got his hero suit, which helps him sweat faster in order to build up stronger attacks. Or the Strafe Panzer, These badass turrets mounted to his back
What
that
the
store his
shit?
fun as ammo. With all of that, it
That's
wasn't
crazy.
long before Bakugo made his hero debut, called the Bombshell Hero, Great Explosion Murder God, Dynamite. Hey, I dig it. The more colons, the merrier.
But despite
No.
some early wins, Bakugo failed to live up to his own sky-high expectations. He
Yeah.
had the makings of a great hero, if only he could get out of his own way and put the team before his ego.
Especially when he was kidnapped by the League of Villains, ultimately leading Bakugo to blame himself for All Might's retirement. Something needed to change.
So he vented his frustrations in a slugfest with Deku and realized something crucial. That the kind of absolute victory that defined All Might wasn't victory for himself, but victory for everyone.
He was starting to become the prodigy everyone knew he could be. I mean, hell, even while he was unconscious, he kept analyzing the fight he was in and coming up with counters. Somehow,
Bakugo's powerful enough to shatter Todoroki's heaven-piercing ice wall, fast enough to keep up with villains like Shigaraki, who can catch light beams, and tough enough to survive, well,
being dead?
Yeah.
You heard us. Bakugo was killed, dead as a doornail. And then a single bead of sweat floating through his bloodstream detonated and restarted his heart. If that isn't main character play.
While Edgeshot was able to stitch Bakugo's injured organs back together, it was explicitly stated that Bakugo's miniature explosions restarted his heart and revived him.
Armor, I don't know what is.
his stamina is perhaps the craziest thing about him. After all, he is tanking the recoil of all of his explosions.
Even with the overuse of his blasts literally tearing his body apart, he kept trying to make him stronger, and eventually his quirk awakened.
Essentially, when a quirk evolves to become stronger. Now, by condensing his explosions into smaller and more powerful clusters, Bakugo could enhance all of his techniques.
Like the Howitzer Impact Cluster, a stunning achievement in the field of explosionology, or kaboom theory for the layman.
Powerful enough to shatter the side of a mountain, or blow apart Uehai itself. Judging by
Ayo.
the school's size, we can estimate Bakugo's Howitzer Impact Cluster
Bro is
yielded
not
over
fucking around.
300 kilotons of TNT.
Given Bakugo's whole deal is explosions, it makes sense to science out what a ton of TNT actually is. It's literally the energy contained in 1,000 kilograms.
TNT equivalent is a unit of energy defined by the approximate release of energy in a metric ton of TNT, 4.184 gigajoules. Ergo, 1 gram of TNT exploding is the equivalent of 4.183 kilojoules. Okay. This is utilized to compare destructive capacity events to each other. This is imperative when analyzing the energy scale of fictional universes. It's a uniform metric to compare multiple disconnected literacy pieces. Alright. So 4.8 or 4.184 E plus 9 joules equals 1 ton of TNT. Okay.
Of trinitrotoluene.
A chemical compound composed of hydrogen, nitrogen.
Formulas. I'm not gonna say that. TNT is occasionally used as a reagent in chemical synthesis, but is best known as an explosive material with convenient handling properties. The explosive yield of TNT is considered to be standard comparative convention of bombs and asteroid impacts.
Oxygen and carbon.
That's the recipe for
Tons of TNT is in fact a unit of measurement often used in the real world to describe the energy contained in high-yield explosives such as nuclear bombs. It can be useful to measure particularly powerful feats from fictional characters.
booms. Now, imagine a pile of TNT as big as the Empire State Building blowing up all at once.
Right, they're done
All of
giving us
TNT
info on
grams
TNT,
of
so I'll go back to the
and
beginning
Bakugo's
of the
whole
talk.
deal is explosions. It makes sense to science out what a ton of TNT actually is. It's literally the energy contained in 1,000 kilograms of trinitrotoluene.
A chemical compound composed of hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon.
That's the recipe for kaboom. booms. Now imagine a pile of TNT as big as the Empire State Building blowing up all at once. That's Bakugo's howitzer impact cluster.
Holy
And
shit.
these explosions can launch him so fast, it's like time stands still around him.
Like when he covered a huge part of this city in a fraction of a second, almost 400 times the speed of sound.
And that's not all. Now he can detonate his sweat remotely and from all over his body, not just his palms.
Nice.
All of this crazy bullshit.
Blew up a mountainside, vaporized Wolfram's giant metal cubes. Outsped Tokiyami's dark shadow. Destroyed Uraraka's meteor shower. Moved 300,000 miles per hour. Displaced the airborne UA High. Helped defeat 9 while sharing 1 for all. Defeated Deku, Kirishima, Todoroki, the Serpenter Twins, and All for One.
Bakugo became one of the strongest heroes on Earth, enough to battle and defeat All Might's lifelong arch nemesis, All for One. Yeah, that's right, the main villain. Who's the protagonist now, Deku?
Bakugo literally and figuratively surpassed his childhood idol and proved his mettle as a hero.
Number 5 on the rankings and rising. Not bad, Kachan.
But more important than proving it to his friends, to All Might, or even to Deku, he proved it to himself.
Yeah, whatever. Take that, losers! Sickest quirk in the world over here! Dynamite! Dynamite! Dynamite!
God damn, Boomstick.
Wiz, what
You're
happened
enjoying
to
this
you?
episode
You're
too
looking for
much.
you can get one, a special version.
Oh,
Yeah, they got plushies.
Conquest. Death, war, famine, conquest. Humanity has been plagued by all manner of ills since they first crawled out of the primordial ooze. In the world of Chainsaw Man, there is nothing to fear but fear itself.
because fear itself is real, and they're called devils.
Literally devils from hell. These monstrous beings are the living embodiments of humanity's worst nightmares, and their power is directly proportional to that fear.
So the chicken devil might be so weak you could keep him as a class pet, like, you know, a chicken. But what about the bat devil, or the ghost devil, or the devil embodying man's fears of one of the greatest weapons it's ever created, the bomb devil?
Look at this. Seriously, look. If this came out earlier, plumbers would be out of business. No matter
God, I
which
don't care.
Little is known about the origins of the Bomb Devil's current host, Reze, if that even is her real name.
She might look cute and kawaii.
Bomb Devil hybrid. Height around 5'5" or 166 centimeters. Age is unknown. Country of origin is the Soviet Union. Occupation super soldier. Is bilingual, can speak both Russian and Japanese. At one point was the author's favorite character. And likes coffee, flowers, and Denji. Sort of.
But she's actually a Soviet assassin trained from birth to be one of the deadliest killers on the planet. Basically a Black Widow. A cold and lonely existence for anyone, but quadruply so in a world as effed up as this.
But all Reze wanted was a safe, normal, quiet life. As much a fable to her as Aesop's country mouse.
Too bad! You are now a walking, talking explosive. Have fun.
At some point, the girl known as Reze was implanted with a fragment of the Bomb Devil and became a hybrid. A human possessing a devil's powers without sacrificing their humanity, transforming their body into a living weapon.
As a hybrid, Reze's strength and speed are way crazier than a normal human's. And with her martial arts training, she's a force to be reckoned with up close. Also, Wiz, check out the bomb for a head.
Someone like Reze would eat you alive, literally. Should
Yeah,
devils like Reze
that's
take
fucked up.
any damage
Jesus, what the
whatsoever,
hell?
they can heal by consuming blood.
And that lets hybrids survive some pretty insane stuff, like having their limbs torn off, getting bisected clean in half, or being roasted alive. Just slurp some blood and they're good as new.
Especially useful considering
Gross.
the Bomb Devil's primary ability is literally blowing herself up. Reze can emit explosions from
Hybrid devil physiology. Super strength, speed, durability. Regeneration, blood drinking. Explosions, long range self detonation, sparks, and propulsive. weapon transformation, torpedoes, dynamite, missiles, and skilled in hand-to-hand combat.
Any surface of her body, even tearing off limbs and turning them into bombs that she can detonate at will.
Damn, that's hardcore! She can use these blasts to jet through the sky at hypersonic speeds, maneuver and redirect herself in midair, and enhance the strength and speed of her blows.
Or Reze can send sparks that can ignite the atmosphere in explosions that tear apart entire cities. Making herself stronger, the more fear her wanton destruction creates.
As long as the area around her is dry enough to maintain ignition, Reze can create as many explosions as she wants, non-stop.
She can even turn
Humanity's fear of her not only enhances her explosive power, but her physical power as well. She was able to shrug off an attack from the Violence Fiend, who specializes in physical strength.
her own body into different types of real-world bombs to massively enhance their power.
Like transforming her leg into a torpedo, or her apron into dynamite. Every single inch of Reze is a living weapon.
This made her feared across the devil world as one of their mightiest warriors, and the perfect choice to assassinate Japan's newly acquired devil hybrid, Chainsaw Man.
You see, you might not think chainsaws are all that scary, at least not
Fair.
compared to bombs, but the Chainsaw Devil is special.
Any devil the Chainsaw Devil consumes becomes deleted from reality, retroactively erased from humanity's collective consciousness.
And here I thought chainsaws were for boring stuff like trees or Texas massacres. Silly me.
This ability makes the Chainsaw Devil the most important being alive and invaluable for any global power to control.
Except instead of meeting the fearsome chainsaw of legend, Reze met Denji, a dumb, horny teenage boy just looking for anyone, to love.
And for once, Reze actually hesitated. Rather than immediately kill her target, she got to know him and found they weren't so different. Both were used as tools of the state, as weapons of war rather than people. A kindred spirit in a hostile world, Denji wanted to take up as much of the excitement of life as he could. The town mouse to her country mouse.
And thankfully, he was super easy for a pretty face to manipulate.
It wouldn't be the only time.
Reze's nothing if not professional, and she gave Denji one parting gift. To teach him the way
you know
devils
some about
did battle
Chainsaw Man
before he
because
died.
of
As
death
the
battles
embodiment of one of the
doing
deadliest
other
weapons
fights.
known to man, Reze's power is off the charts, capable of creating an explosion more than 400 meters in diameter. That's over 4 football fields long.
To have a blast that size, you'd need to be exploding with over 2 kilotons of TNT.
More than comparable to nuclear weapons, which is really impressive considering Reze is not the devil of nuclear bombs. That's apparently an entirely separate thing.
Despite her bombs being technically conventional, they're just that strong.
Likely comparable to other powerful devils like the Gun Devil, who could travel across the world and kill millions of people in 5 minutes.
That'd be over 500 times the speed of sound.
She's even stronger than the Typhoon Devil, a sentient city-spanning storm.
The literal coughing baby to her hydrogen bomb.
Unfortunately for Reze, Denji
fought evenly with Chainsaw Man, Explosion, eclipsed most of Tokyo, killed a devil hunter bare-handed, can fight even while headless, has survived losing various limbs, blitzed Denji several times, feared by the Typhoon Devil, the Fox Devil, and the Violence Fiend, defeated Nomo, Kato, Beam, and much of Devil Hunter Special Division number 2. Because what's the difference between a devil and a fiend?
He took her lessons to heart and proved he was
Why is he not the
more than a
Violence
fitting host
Devil? Why
for
is he
the
the
Chainsaw
Violence
Devil.
Fiend?
He whooped her ass, but spared her life. Just in case her seduction wasn't a total act after all.
But it wasn't meant to be. Whether Reze chose the safe life of the country mouse or the exciting life of the town mouse, there are hungry cats everywhere.
Oh, Makima, what I would give to find someone to kill you.
Reze's dreams of freedom were never realized. She simply changed hands from one cold, unfeeling entity to another. And this time, there was no escape. She was a weapon, a symbol of man's bottomless capacity for malice and self-destruction.
A living bomb.
Pretty sad end.
The battle's about to start, and I hope you've got something good to hear these kabooms with.
Years now, she'll listen to
even her
feeling bombs off the
amazing animation.
18%. All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Level 500 VIP.
Are you fucking
This
kidding
is your
me?
exclusive presidential suite. Level 100. Not bad. You'll stay in the standard single room on the 748th floor.
How much longer till we get there, man?
Look who's asking! If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have to climb all this way up in the first place!
It's boiling hot. How?
I've been sent to collect your head, Dynamite.
Better villains than you have tried, lady. You tell your bosses that after I send you back in a coffin!
You're a hero, dude.
That if I was already dead. Wow, you're quick.
Shut up and die!
Dude, you're a hero. Why are you trying to kill everybody all the time? Damn. Water, your weakness.
Oh, damn! Oh, damn!
Oh shit. Boom. Oh, she's choking him. Haha, you're wet. But his explosions don't have that same weakness.
Move it or lose it, people!
Save me, Dynamite!
Let go of me!
Boom.
It's gonna take a lot more than that to kill him. He is remarkably stubborn.
Leave them out of this!
Yeah, this fight's between you two, motherfucker.
For what it's worth, Dynamite, your blood was delicious.
Shut up.
You bit off a bit more than you could chew! My blood isn't the only thing you drank! It's my sweat you should worry about, dumbass!
See you in hell, bitch. Yeah, kick her fucking ass, man.
Absolute victory! Howitzer! Impact! Cluster!
It's absolute victory or nothing. And he doesn't do nothing.
Scratch that. Not enough for a coffin.
KO!
Hell yeah.
Denji, we're so sorry to hear about your girlfriend that passed away. She gets 5 big booms. Boom! Boom!
Please just shut up. On
Yeah.
the surface, these two seemed evenly matched. So let's break this fight down into 3 categories: their speed, their stamina, and their firepower.
First up, let's talk speed.
Both Bakugo and Reze could rocket through the sky at hypersonic speeds and maneuver and redirect themselves on a dime in the middle of fights. To the casual observer at least, they'd seem to be on par with each other.
So we have to look at the people they've fought to compare.
Reze has battled Chainsaw Man, who could match and defeat
Denji and Portia have fluctuated in power since he battled with Reze due to the fear surrounding Chainsaw Man. As a result, Reze cannot reliably scale to his feats from newer arcs.
someone using the Gun Devil's power.
The same gun devil that could literally fly around the world, killing millions of people at over 500 times the speed of sound.
Impressive, but compare that to Bakugo fighting Shigaraki, who could react fast enough to catch light beams with his bare hands.
That's over 1,000 times faster. And that was before Bakugo's quirk awakening that made him even faster than that.
With reaction speed of that caliber, there's little chance Reze could ever get the drop on Bakugo, and would likely be forced to play catch-up in a duel. Speed goes to Bakugo.
However, speed
Makes
doesn't
sense.
matter if one couldn't truly hurt the other. A big part of this fight is their stamina.
Bakugo's durability is mind-boggling. He's survived being impaled through the torso and has even brought himself back to life.
But, unlike Reze, his stamina does eventually hit a limit. Every
Yeah.
explosion he makes whittles him down just a little bit more, and uses up more and more of his sweat. Without a break, he can eventually run out.
whereas Reze can effectively create bombs without respite and from a distance.
Unlike Bakugo, who usually likes to get up close and personal.
Furthermore,
Yeah.
her devil hybrid physiology gives her an actual regenerative healing factor, allowing her to shrug off the same kind of mortal blows that would eventually kill Bakugo, main character plot armor or not.
If this ever became a war of attrition, Reze had it in the bag. Stamina goes to Reze.
However, it's unlikely it would ever get to that point. The biggest factor in this fight was always going to be their raw firepower.
Explosions! First, we gotta compare their two biggest blasts, Reze's nuclear light bomb against Denji versus Bakugo's howitzer impact cluster.
And the difference is obvious. Based on calculating their sizes, Bakugo's 300 kiloton explosion was over 100 times more powerful than Reze's 2 kiloton blast.
But that's
Yeah.
not all. Remember the Typhoon Devil?
Puffing baby or not, to create a storm big enough to cover Tokyo's over 2,000 square kilometers, he'd have to be generating more than 400 kilotons of TNT.
Greater than Bakugo, right? But that's
Okay.
not all. Again, Bakugo's
'Cause,
howitzer
yeah.
impact once shattered the size of this big-ass mountain. And despite being earlier on in the series, it was ginormous. Almost 3 kilometers in radius.
Or just over 2 megatons of TNT, 5 times more powerful than the Typhoon Devil, and way beyond anything we've seen Reze.
Everything
And
this
this
time?
was Bakugo before reaching his full power in his fight against All for One. Bakugo takes the final edge in explosions.
And remember, Bakugo withstands the recoil of all his
Yeah.
blasts. So even though Reze had greater stamina, Bakugo was more than tough enough to hang on and get his kill shot, especially with his superior speed.
And devil healing factors can be overtaxed with enough damage. Hell, she needed to drink blood a couple times against Denji just to keep fighting.
Against someone as fast and powerful as Bakugo, she would not get the chance to heal consistently, or perhaps at all.
And what happens when devils die? They Bakugo to hell.
Really?
The winner is Katsuki Bakugo.
Bombshell, hero, great explosion, murder, god, dynamite. Next time.
God, he really loves that name, doesn't he? Alright, yeah, so that's who I thought was gonna win. Bakugo fucking showed her who the fucking king of explosions really was.
The Commonwealth Games on CBC and CBC Gem.
Alright, up next we have got Gru versus Megamind. I did already check, but there was a problem that they had a worry about this episode, because I believe DreamWorks, whoever owns Megamind, they like ripped apart their fucking like Megamind preview. And because of that, they were a little worried that they might come for the video too, the main video. But I checked, and it doesn't seem like there's any problems. So should be good to watch it without any like interruptions or censorship or anything like that. That being said, I believe, let's see, Gru or Megamind. If it was a one-on-one fight, I think Megamind would probably win. Because he had one-on-one fight with, like, fucking Metro Man or whatever. And that dude he's basically Superman. So, I think he'd win there. But I'm pretty sure like, I've seen the previews, so I'm pretty sure they have the minions and the brain bots and all that. Like, they're using all their allies. And in that case, I think he's fucked. The minions, as far as I know, are like invincible. They can't die. Even if you can kill them, there's a lot of them. And some of them have like special abilities. Plus, as stupid as they seem, they're actually pretty smart. They can build machines and stuff. Yep, I'm gonna I think I'm gonna cast my vote for Gru. With the minions backing him up, he's got this. If he doesn't have the minions, it's Megamind for sure.
Gru versus Megamind.
You either die a despicable villain or live long enough to become an admirable hero.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Evil never dies. It merely goes dormant, waiting for a villain to arise and spread its name to the darkest corners of the earth.
Like a man
Damn.
so evil, he cuts in line at the coffee shop and makes
Yeah.
balloon animals for kids and then pops them in their face.
Asshole.
What a despicable man.
The
Yeah,
world would
kinda.
surely tremble
Kinda
at his
douche does that.
name. Gru.
Really?
it.
Just Gru? Doesn't have some sort of stage name or like doctorate or, you know?
Felonious Gru, son
Okay.
of the supervillain known as the Bald Terror.
Are you serious?
Man, he's so dead.
Even as a small child, Gru
Bro, but don't count him out yet. But yeah, like I said, if it's fucking just him against fucking Megamind, yeah, he's toast. He is dead. Alrighty, full name. Felonious Gru Sr., height 6'6" or 210 centimeters. Is in his 40s. His family is his wife Lucy, his adopted children Margot, Edith, and Agnes, and his actual child, Felonious Jr. And I don't mean that like the adopted kids are less, I just mean that he actually he is part of their DNA. You know what I mean? He impregnated someone and they had their kid. Email baldandbeautiful@grumail.com. Not sure why we included his email, but sure. Go dox the fuck out of him, I guess. Super villain since 11 years old. Appeared on Ellen and is bald. No shit.
had big aspirations. He could make rocket bikes, cheese rays, and this dog?
And his arsenal grew even more with the help of his new best buddy, Dr. Nefario. See? Now that's a supervillain name. Come
Fair
on,
enough.
man.
With Nefario's help, Gru's gadgets grew gadgets. Flamethrowers, sticky fingers, fantastic entertainment for 2-year-olds, and a
Fart
fully
gun.
weaponized airship. Though I must question this thing's aerodynamics.
It's loaded up with wing-mounted machine guns, a rocket thruster that can escape the Earth's atmosphere, and a whole lot of missiles.
Despite the impressive firepower, Gru's go-to weapon seems to be his
Airship, big blaster, cannon, fart gun, flamethrower, freeze ray, goop grenades, grappling hook, Grumobile, jetpack, laser gun, lipstick taser, rocket launcher, shrink ray, stealth suit, sticky fingers, and the X-ray goggles.
freeze ray, which can encase most people in ice with a single shot.
With his gadgets and gusto combined, and a little teaching from the School of Villainy, Gru started making strides in the underworld of evil. He swiped the crown jewels when he was only a kid, nabbed the New York City Jumbotron just for fun, and even stole both the Eiffel Tower and the Statue of Liberty.
From Las Vegas.
Yeah, Gru was bad, but he wasn't good at being bad. A lot of his schemes kind of blew up in his face.
The line dividing genius from moron is a thin one. Just look at
Yeah.
us.
Oh yeah, my back hurts from carrying all the genius between us.
Bro,
Regardless,
no.
While Gru may not have been the infamous villain he'd hoped, he did earn the loyalty of a few.
When playing games on PC, do you ever wonder if someone had a clip with you in it?
Download
No,
Marvel, then go
because
to
I don't play
albums,
games on
clips your-
PC.
Guys.
Guys,
Yeah, guys. Like little guys. There's Kevin, Bob, Stuart, Otto, Billy, Larry, John, Liam, Chad.
oh, the Minions! And that's not just their role, it's the actual name of their species.
Yep.
Right. The Minions have existed since the dawn of life itself.
They just had a new movie
over
come out,
3
Minions
billion
vs.
years
Monsters.
ago, and they all follow one instinct. to serve the biggest, baddest, most despicable villain they can find.
T-Rexes, Count Dracula, AI artists, whatever evil they can lay their grubby little eyes on. Or just one eye. But finding their big boss was the easy part. Keeping them, not so much.
The amount of times the minions have incidentally caused the death of their own bosses is staggering.
Wait, didn't one of them serve the Queen of England?
What about it?
Nothing.
The minions witnessed Gru's villainy firsthand and decided that he would be the next big boss they follow.
It worked out like PB&J.
Ages between 1 and 3 billion years old. Have their own language, Minionese. Gentlemanly. Alrighty, here we go. Weapons. Axes, brooms, butcher knives, chainsaws, dynamite, golf clubs, hammers, lances, maces, pickaxes, pitchforks, rocket launchers, saws, scythes, shovels, spears, swords, umbrellas, and whisks.
Because like Gru, these guys do machines.
The minions invented the fly
show
swatter centuries before humans did.
There we go. Okay. Minions. We have Adrian, Alzaquer, Alzraqui. I don't know how to say that. Andre, Albert, Alvin, Alex, Barry, Bart, Benny, Bill, Billy, Bob, Brad, Brett, Brian, Bruno, Buck, Carl, Chad, Charlie, Chris, Cinco, Clark, Claude, Cody, Cubby, Dan, Darwin, Devin, Donnie, Douglas, Elvis, Eric, Ernest, Flanders, Frank, Fred, Gary, Gene, Gerald, Gibson, Greg, Hal, Harry, Henry, Jack, Jake, Jeff, Jeremy, Jim, May, Joe, Joey, Joff, John, George, Josh, Juan, Jude, Ken, Kevin, Lance, Larry, Lewis, Liam, Mark, Manson, Matthew, Maurice, Mike, Nathan, Neil, Noah, Naboo, Norbert, Orlin, Oscar, Otto, Pablo, Paul, Paxton, Peter, Phil, Pudgy, Ralph, Raymond, Rod, Robert, Ron, Ryan, Sam, Samson, Scott, Scrooge, Sean, Sonny, Steve, Stu, Stuart, Ted, Thomas, Todd, Tom, Tony, Jesus fucking words today. Vincent, Will, Willie, Zach, Ziggy, Zorex, and more. And there's also the Mega Minions. Dave, Gus, Jerry, Mel, and Tim.
Somehow crafted light bulbs and instruments while living in the Arctic. So naturally, building Gru's absolutely massive evil lair proved a simple task.
They're geniuses. They once
The Minions speak Minionese, their own polyglot language, likely derived from the millennium they spent traveling the entire world.
Jailbreak by building a flying machine out of prison outfits, vans, computers, and toilets. Aisle seaters are in shambles right now.
And they're seemingly invulnerable, having been smashed flat, set on fire, and exploded by missiles even inside their own mouths. But also, they're possibly immortal? Kevin here has been around since the dawn of their species, which means Kevin is 3 billion years old.
And their numbers keep increasing. Over 10,000 minions clock into work every day.
And yet, in a real work setting,
10,400. Crazy.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like a
So it said
banana.
10,400. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like a banana, a popsicle, a butt, or anything remotely silly to distract them enough for plans to go off course.
Literally.
But these guys love TikTok.
Oh,
it's
for
no
sure.
wonder that, even with thousands of minions at his back, Gru still couldn't cut it as a supervillain. Maybe it was time to hang up the freeze ray for good, but not before taking a chance at his ultimate dream.
Steal the moon.
Easier said than done.
Oh no, really? The moon?
When he
Yeah,
couldn't
like,
get the shrink ray he needed.
Come on, Wiz. Really, Like it's all it's freaking easier to say you can steal the moon than actually steal the moon. I never would have guessed.
On his own, Gru required a new, even more despicable weapon.
Children.
Specifically adopting 3 girls. And somehow it worked. Crime of the century, here we go.
How tragic that through all the dance recitals and unicorns, Gru discovered the joys of fatherhood.
Oh, story of my life. God, I'm so proud of her. Anyway, out with the villain and in with the bedtime stories.
But even though he turned a new leaf for his daughters, Gru wasn't done commanding his minion army. Now he'd just do it as not a villain.
Stole the moon, punched out a shark, survived being eaten by a shark, stole the crown jewels of England, tanked a point-blank missile explosion. Minions have survived Brat Balthazar's exploding bubblegum balloons, has defeated Vector, El Macho, Brat Balthazar, Maxime Lamal, and the Vicious Six.
By joining the Anti-Villain League.
The AVL hooked him up with lipstick tasers and goop grenades, mini submarines and high-tech cars, and some great date nights with the future Mrs. Gru. Things are looking up, buddy.
5 minions even underwent experimental procedures to become more powerful than before. The Mega Minions.
Tim stretches. Dave got super strength. Gus got super strength and flight. Sorry, Dave. Jerry became an indestructible brick monster who eats live bombs. He's my favorite. And Mills' new laser eye can blast through the planet and hit a satellite on the other side in less than a second.
Calculating its speed across the Earth, that's 5% the speed of light.
So, Gru's true calling wasn't being a villain at all. He's an anti-villain, and he's good at it too. This guy can dodge heat-seeking missiles and casually punch out a shark in one shot.
Damn.
All because he was in full dad mode.
But the most incredible element here is easy to miss. For billions of years, the minions have had the biological drive to serve the greatest villain they can find. And yet, despite Gru's turn away from villainy, they chose to continue serving him. The minions' love for Gru is so strong, it overwrote their primordial genetic code.
They still see greatness in him, even now. After all, Felonious Gru will go to the moon and back to keep his family safe. Wait, Kevin, don't touch that button!
Okay, Megamind should be up next, but there is a chance that it got
Yeah,
totally
see, this is
nuked
the
by
warning that they
DreamWorks,
gave.
Groover,
And they
private
told us about,
Patreon,
like,
or
you
free
can go
by
here
using
and
these behind the scenes episode for
join up
free
for a
monthly
fucking
membership.
shit.
All caps, remember.
It's expired now,
What
too.
happens
It's only good till
when
May
the
9th,
villain
but
wins?
you could get some
On
shit
a
for
grim,
free for a
dark
bit.
day, the citizens of Metro City learned the horrifying answer to that question when their hero, their Metro Man, was lost forever. Bested by the fearsome supervillain destined for greatness, Megamind.
Megamind.
Because if your rival
Well, what does that say, Bob?
Supervillain destined for greatness, Megamind.
Incredibly handsome criminal genius and master of all villainy.
Because if your rival's name is gonna be that on the nose, you better match that energy. Their feud goes way back to when they escaped their dying planet Superman style and immediately got in each other's way.
While Metro Baby landed in a
It's 'cause he
nice
was
and
a
cozy
douche.
home, he caused the weird blue kid to crash land in prison and literally grow up behind bars. What kind of city government would make the kid stay in jail?
It wasn't as bad as you
A
think.
shitty kind?
He was a perfect fit for the Metro
American kind?
for the criminally gifted.
Metro City.
But while everyone outside bars loved that new kid who could fly, they weren't too keen on the boy with the big blue head and his constant string of destructive accidents.
So if he was going to be the bad guy no matter what, why not embrace it and become a true supervillain?
Huh, sounds kinda like you. Megamind is a genius inventor, creating
Real name unknown. Height 5'5" or 140 millimeters. Plus a few inches with baby seal leather boots. Age 30s. Raised in the prison for the criminally gifted. Head is 5.6 times larger than a human's. Mentored by Machiavelli. Appeared at San Diego Comic-Con and is also bald.
weapons to stage prison breaks before he could even talk.
It does sound like me. With a bit of tutoring from Machiavelli in the ways of wrongdoing, he got to work on his crime-starting career, facing off with his destined rival over and over again.
And Megamind's got everything he needs. An invisible car for getaways, assuming he can find the thing. A hoverbike.
Charlie's having a friend over.
Oh.
bike for flying and shooting at the same time.
I really think they meant, like, they meant centimeters here, right? Not millimeters? Whatever.
For getaways, assuming he can find the thing. A hover bike for flying and shooting at the same time, if he can multitask. Lasers, bombs, bubble guns, baseball bats, jet boots, and more galore.
But his go-to is the D-gun, a laser pistol with various possible effects, such as destroying, decelerating, demoralizing, de-locking, de-gravity thing.
I wouldn't expect a guy calling
Weird.
himself
D-gun, D-balance, decelerate, decoupage, deep freeze, degravity, dehydrate, delete, delock, demobilizer / debilitate, demoralize, disintegrate, desticky, destroy. What's the difference between disintegrate, destroy, and delete? He also has his Binky, the Blue Ion Nano Kinetic Energy Y. Death Ray Satellite, the Hokey Pokey of Destruction, his Invisible Car, different mech suits, a Metro Man suit, a Porta Bazooka, his Tickle-Kinesis Glove, and he has his minions, which include the Brain Bots, the actual minion, named Old Chum now because of legal reasons, and Keiko Morita, who is his sidekick.
Megamind to have the best name ideas, Wiz. He probably based the entire thing around his favorite setting, dehydration, which turns people and objects into tiny cubes for easy storage, though they can be returned to normal with a drop of water.
He did keep the whole mind thing running with his horde of henchmen, the Brain Bots. These mini-mechs follow Megamind's every command, even pulling off the most incredible drone show you've ever seen in your life.
Which,
fair enough,
the director's commentary, is made up of over 100,000 brain bots.
Damn, that's a lot of brain bots.
I wouldn't call his brain bots, smart. That designation goes to Megamind's proper minion, Minion.
Minion serves many roles for Megamind.
Minion's intelligence is on par with Megamind's. He has recreated the same technology and has even battled equally against him when he turned evil.
Sidekick, guy in the chair, awkward sibling relationship despite technically being his pet.
The best fish friend you could have in your plans to kidnap news reporter Roxanne Ritchie to piss off Metro Man for the 19th time this week. Or for the final time. Children, shield your eyes!
He did it! Thanks to his most powerful invention of all, an orbital death ray that could shatter mountains, Metro City's hero had fallen. It was Megamind's time to rule.
And he had no idea what to do next. With Metro Man dead, what was even the point?
Clearly, he needed a new superhero to fight. And apparently, he could just make that happen. With his diffuser gun, he injected this loser with Metro Man's DNA, turning him into Metro Man 2.0, Titan.
Megamind even trained him himself, using his disguise generator and expert acting skills. What a performer! But for all his smarts, Megamind is a terrible judge of character. When Titan turned tyrant, Metrocity needed yet another superhero to save it.
Metro City. Thanks to some encouragement from an old friend, rival, who wasn't actually dead at all and just let all of this happen despite having godlike superpowers. Thanks to some encouragement from a very experienced friend, Megamind stepped up to the plate.
Hey, he had the moxie for it. Megamind's tanked explosions and dodged electric blasts. Titan was strong enough to toss around a skyscraper, and Megamind put up a solid fight with his mech armor.
A suit specifically designed to mimic the pilot's movements, whether it be lamppost sword fighting, busting a move, or being surprisingly stealthy.
And with quick thinking and some hench help, Megamind taught Titan a lesson he knew all too well. The bad
guy always loses.
So the city decided to just forgive Megamind of all his years of terror and destruction and call him their superhero. I guess they didn't really have any better options.
Well, I mean, did he really cause terror and destruction? Like, that was kind of the point. He was a crappy villain. You know, he was only evil because he was supposed to be evil. Like, the most I've seen him destroy is, like, a lamppost, that school building, when he fucking, like, broke the windows and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Dude doesn't really destroy things. He kind of just wants to fight Mega fucking Metro Man. I mean, I guess he blew up the old observatory, but it was like abandoned or whatever. Vaporized a building, dodged electricity, turned the Atlantic Ocean to jello. His Binky destroyed a 10-mile wide meteor. Technologically raised all of Metro City into space. Suit survived hits from both Metro Man and Titan. In another timeline, he reformed Titan and the Doom Syndicate. There was alternate timelines? I'll be honest, I didn't see the sequel, and there was like a sequel in a TV show or something, wasn't there? I don't know. Has defeated Titan, the Doom Syndicate, Machiavellian, and Psychodelic.
Took his new role as the city's hero seriously. He even built a suit that mimicked Metro Man's strength, flight, and X-ray vision.
Now, the D-gun is used to make runaway bad guys lose their balance and get caught. His portal bazooka is excellent for saving people from out-of-control cars. And while the Death Ray might not have been a hero killer, it's certainly great at blowing up giant evil robots.
And Minion was all for it.
Actually, once they went nice, Minion had to legally change his name to Old Chum because of some other Minion-related thing.
What? You mean the yellow guys?
No, I mean they got a cease and desist from Mr. Minion's Meatsicles.
Sounds delicious. I'm still gonna call him Minion. You can't break up this duo.
Even as Megamind uses his tools for good, destruction still tends to be inevitable. To the point that, as the new mayor of Metro City, and his new partner, Roxanne instated a policy that anyone inconvenienced by a Megamind battle would receive a free cup of coffee. That sounds horrifically ripe for corruption.
So that's why there's so many Starbuckses everywhere. At least the brain bots are covering all the cleanup. It's a messy job being a superhero, but Megamind's finally found his purpose, even saving the city from the Doom Syndicate, which is like 6 of him.
Though not
There are multiple timelines after the first movie, each of which involved Mega Man facing the Doom Syndicate. In one timeline, he reforms them into a superhero team. Okay.
Not without some self-induced difficulty. You have an instant wind gun on your hip. Use it!
Hey, with girlfriend, sidekick, and adoring fans to keep him going, it doesn't matter what sort of danger comes to town. Megamind will always rise up as the defender of Metrocity!
It's Metro City!
Wiz, what happened to you?
Look at it. I had a chance.
Yeah, you got plushies.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
So yeah, since they're including the minions, I think Gru's gonna win this fight.
Minions, prep the artillery! We're not letting him get away!
Hi, peoples!
Ooh, and here I thought it was the hero who chases the bad guys! Ha! Oh,
Oh no.
Minion, I'm going to need a new pair of pants. Yes, sir. Sending you the Sunday Best package. Take this!
Yeah.
Ha! Freeze ray! A dark color scheme! Strike ray! Henchmen who look the same! Laser gun! A genius weaponry! You are suddenly a real supervillain!
Yeah. Oh, that was nice.
You're just missing one thing!
I actually brought him a pair of pants.
And what might that be? Presentation! Minions, assemble! And start the music!
Bro. You can't eat popcorn, you are in a bowl.
Oh, check that mark in the morning. No, hey! We just fixed that! Come on, sir! Smash him! Oh, hey, that's kinda cute!
Yeah.
You dare challenge Megamind in my Curiosity?
Still Metro
You even
City.
know who I am?
Well, life is full of disappointments.
Oh.
Hey!
Banana. Oh shit.
Now, as you like to say, Gun!
If you're going to steal my lines, at least do it properly.
Oh shit. He win? No, did not win. Okay.
Okay, thank you for the help.
Minion, is the death ray ready?
Approaching. Getting there. Almost. Kinda. Maybe. On the way.
God damn it, every time with this shit.
Whoa.
Laser.
Oh, Roxanne's gonna kill me.
Oh, you are fucked.
The good guys always win. This is how it's really done. Dehydration gun.
Villain! You mean...
Oh, this is a big misunderstanding.
This is all a big misunderstanding.
Oh.
Huh?
Oh. Oh shit. Bro.
Oh, work is going to kill me for this.
Yeah, probably.
I guess that's 2 for Gru, 0 for Will Ferrell.
With so many chaotic factors in this fight, it can get overwhelming trying to keep track of them all.
So we'll break it down 3 ways: arsenal, minions, and skill.
In terms of weapon versatility, Megamind definitely had much more to use. The D-gun alone had enough effects to match what Gru could do with nearly his whole kit. Throw in disguise generators, invisible cars, portal bazookas, and it's a lot for Gru to handle.
Just one problem. Megamind might have had variety, but Gru's weaponry was far stronger in scope. Sure, Megamind's death ray could blow up a mountain, but Gru's shrink ray could take out...
Machiavellian used Megamind's Binky to destroy a meteor with a 10-mile diameter. However, the moon has a diameter over 2,100 miles, proving Gru's weaponry has a much higher scale effect.
And is much easier to use on top of it. Frankly, much of Megamind's deadliest weaponry would have little effect anyway.
Check this out. When Gru first tried to get the shrink ray, he triggered a missile trap so explosive it created a mushroom cloud. Based on the size of the blast, that's about 4 kilotons of TNT, and all those missiles fired at him from point-blank range.
Shockingly, that's about 38 times greater than Megamind's orbital death ray. And Gru kind of just walked it off. Megamind's mecha suit could take big hits like that, but Megamind himself? No.
So Megamind would have a hard time blowing him up, but he could still dehydrate him, disintegrate him, freeze him, or even just turn off his gravity and send him flying into space, right?
Sure, though Gru does have some similar weaponry. As far as arsenal is concerned, Gru could take out Megamind through sheer firepower, but Megamind could potentially counter with the D-gun's effects. It's a whoever shoots first wins situation. Their arsenals match up fairly evenly.
But these guys aren't alone. Let's cover Gru's minions and Megamind's minions.
1-to-1, one of Gru's minions was certainly more likely to take out a brainbot. Sure, minions may have the attention span of an iPad kid, but they can effortlessly hack.
Brainbots have been successfully reprogrammed by others with less experience than the minions, so they should be able to do so as well.
Dismantle and rewire most machines, like, you know, Megamind's brainbots.
And they just won't die! Certainly nothing the brainbots have can take them out. For all we know, the minions may be completely indestructible.
To be fair, maybe one
immortal.
brainbot doesn't stand a chance against one minion, but there are far more brainbots than minions in total. 10 times more. And the brainbots are a much more organized and focused unit.
Compared to the vanilla minions, maybe. But the mega minions are strong enough to rip and chop.
They're on a whole nother level.
Wet paper. Aunt Mel's got a history of destroying satellites with a laser beam strong enough enough to cut through the earth, so it's bye-bye Death Ray.
But we can't ignore the most competent minion of them all. Minion! Megamind's minion. Old chum.
He's
Okay.
way more competent than Dr. Navarro.
Oh, yeah,
Can
hell yeah.
operate all the tech like the mech suit used to fight Titan, and can match Megamind's brains and style beat for beat. Remember that whole presentation bit in the movie? Yeah, that wasn't Megamind. That was Minion.
While Megamind's army lacks the power of, say, the Mega Minions, having a second in command who's just as smart and capable as him makes up for it, making a battle of their underlings too close to call.
So, if neither of them has a clear edge in weaponry or their henchmen, what matters most isn't the tools themselves, but how good or bad they are at using them. It all comes down to skill.
Both Gru and Megamind have their share of less than genius moments and bad luck, but even in the face of things gone wrong, Gru tends to fail upwards, still ultimately completing his missions, unlike Megamind, who tends to fail much harder before he learns how to succeed.
And we love him for it. It's not like Gru has to put up with Elvis Superman, but even during their villain phases, Gru found some success, unlike Megamind.
Yeah, no, he just lost and lost and lost. A death battle assumes that each combatant has the winning intent, so Megamind's reluctance to use his deadlier weaponry is negligible on its own. However, his continued laxness versus Gru's consistent success suggests that Gru is more practical.
Not using his weapon effectively, like never using the D-gun against the Doom Syndicate, either because he can get easily flustered or he just loves showing off. So it's more likely Gru could succeed in a whoever shoots first wins quick draw situation with their arsenals.
Quick draw is right. Megamind dodging electric blasts is impressive, clocking in around half the speed of sound.
But it pales in comparison to Gru piloting hypersonic ships into space and dodging heat-seeking missiles at Mach 10, meaning he is fast enough to win that quick draw. Gru takes skill, which finally tips the scales. After a nail-biting back and forth, he has just enough to land the winning blow first, more often than not.
Sorry, Megamind. I think you losing was a atrocity.
It's Metros. I trust. The winner is Felonious Gru.
Next time on.
Alrighty, that's a win for Gru. I was right about both these fights so far. Good on me. Okie dokie. Up next, we have got another Chainsaw Man fight. We got Yuji versus Denji. Like I said before, I haven't watched Chainsaw Man. I've watched the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen, but that's about it. I don't know. I really don't know who would win a fight. They both seem pretty OP or whatever to me. Probably by the end of the show anyway.
Say your prayers.
Yuji versus Denji.
The Vessel of Sukuna versus the Chainsaw Man.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. If Yuji Itadori was one thing...
This analysis contains spoilers for the entire Jujutsu Kaisen manga and its sequel series, Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo. Many of the manga panels used are from TCB's fan translations over Viz, due to being more accurate to the original text.
He was strong. As his grandfather lay dying, he made Yuji promise to help others and not to die alone.
A promise Yuji would keep by
Yuji Itadori is 83 years old, 5'8" or 173 centimeters, height 176 pounds or 80 kilograms, occupation special grade sorcerer, former vessel of Sukuna, likes Megami, Nobara, Jennifer Lawrence, Yuko themes and such, dislikes Sukuna, Mojito, and Mass Murder.
Joining Jujutsu High, a school for up-and-coming sorcerers training to rid the world of curses.
Essentially monsters manifested by humanity's fears, hatreds, and anxieties.
Just one problem for Yuji. Unlike everybody else, he didn't have a magical curse technique. Oh no, he had something way worse.
After consuming a cursed finger, like a literal finger, Yuji became possessed by its original owner, the king of curses, Ryomen Sukuna, the most
Whipped cream and stream. Try chocolate whipped cream from Gay Lee Family Farms.
Just get back to my video, please.
Don't kill him!
Once he turns, we're all going to die.
He didn't
Oh my
choose to
God.
get infected. There has to be another way.
I hate all these. Jeez.
Damn zombies, even they have human accomplices.
This is the most powerful
Jeez,
sorcerer
I
in
freaking hate
history.
And Yuji's
fake
willpower
games like
was
that,
the
man.
only
It shows
thing holding
stupid fake
Sukuna back
AI
from
bullshit.
controlling his body, killing everything in sight, and taking over the world.
So Yuji got to know his surly new roommate, and perhaps one day he would show him a kinder, gentler path.
A classic shonen hero's journey if I've ever heard one. Yuji would track down and nosh on the rest of Sukuna's cursed fingers before they caused any more trouble.
Fulfilling his late grandfather's wish to use his strength in service of others, surrounded by friends.
Helps that he's getting a first-rate education from the strongest sorcerer alive today, Gojo.
Gojo would teach Yuji to
Cursed Energy, Physical Reinforcements, Divergent Fist, Black Flash, Reverse Curse Technique, and Binding Bows, Barrier Techniques, New Shadow Styles, Simple Domain, Domain Expansion, Blood Manipulation, Convergence, Piercing Blood, Shrine, Cleave, and Dismantle.
harness and manipulate the absolutely absurd amount of cursed energy he inherited from Sukuna.
Cursed energy is basically like evil ki, and Yuji can use it to see invisible curses and enhance his already superhuman strength and martial arts skills he learned from his gramps, making him a monster in close quarters combat.
Yuji knows Taido, a Japanese martial art derived from Okinawan karate. It focuses on agility and flexibility with the inclusion of spins, twists, tumbles, drops, rolls, and fleet footwork.
Which he combines with jujutsu techniques like Divergent Fist. Yuji strikes an enemy so fast that his cursed energy takes a second to catch up, hitting his opponent twice and messing up their rhythm.
By perfecting that timing and applying cursed energy within 1 microsecond of a hit, Yuji can achieve the Black Flash, increasing the power of his hit by a
Gojo has stated that he can perform the Black Flash at will if all that was needed was the timing. This shows that microsecond reactions are necessary for sorcerers to use Black Flash.
factor of 2.5, a feat that would require reaction speeds nearly 1,000 times faster than sound.
It's basically impossible to do at will. You're so in the zone when you pull it off that it fully restores your cursed energy and boosts your output to 120%.
Yuji's Black Flashes are so strong in particular, the author himself stated that 5 in a row would have been enough to instantly kill.
Hanami is super tough. Jogo is technically stronger, considering how their elemental types match up. However, if he were to ever receive 5 of Itadori's Black Flash attacks on top of Todo's Cursed Energy infused Playful Cloud Strike, as Hanami has at this point, he would die instantly.
The special grade curse, Jogo.
Who did this? And this? And this?
How many has Yuji ever done in a row, you ask? 7.
And that's not even the nastiest thing about Yuji's punches.
Because another soul resides in his body, Yuji learned how to target the soul itself, doing damage to opponents who could normally regenerate from his hits.
Yeah, this pink-haired brat was a jujutsu prodigy, perfect for
Damn.
Gojo's dream. You see, it's lonely at the top, and Gojo wanted to train a crop of pupils powerful enough to share the burden of reforming Jujutsu society.
Until one fateful battle when Gojo was sealed away and Sukuna took over Yuji's body. Then proceeded to, well, commit that whole mass murder thing he was always going on about.
Yeah, turns out Sukuna is evil. Like, really,
No
really,
shit.
totally, completely, irredeemably evil.
He's the king of
And it also
curses,
turns
like
out
what
that
you
every
expect.
twist and turn in Yuji's life was orchestrated by the body-hopping sorcerer Kenjaku in order to
Really?
resurrect Sukuna and bring about the curse apocalypse.
In Yuji's eyes, something he was completely responsible for. And so,
Yeah.
having failed his grandfather, Yuji's outlook shifted.
No longer would he fight to protect others, but to kill curses.
And after Sukuna hopped bodies into Yuji's best pal Megami, the king of curses became numero uno on Yuji's shit list.
Yuji's defeated powerful disaster curses like Hanami and Mahito, survived being slammed so hard he cratered the earth, and is comparable to sorcerers like Maki, who tanked getting rammed through entire mountain ranges.
Yuji also learned how to use super advanced abilities like reverse curse technique to heal himself from crazy damage, like getting his torso shredded into chili. Ugh.
And in some other sorcerers' cases, even regrowing lost limbs.
Though it takes a lot of energy to regenerate blood, so after going on a cursed object,
due to sharing the same physiology as the death-painting wounds, Yuji should be capable of replicating their regeneration, like Iso regrowing his arm and Choso healing from holes in his chest.
feeding Frenzy, he learned how to manipulate his own blood to speed up his healing, or fire it like a blood beam. A poisonous blood beam.
All of that combined made Yuji just
the Commonwealth Games on CBC and CBC Gem. On now.
Tough enough to finally take on the King of Curses, although greatly weakened after his victory against Gojo.
Rip. Literally.
Sukuna was still the de facto strongest being alive, but after hitting him with a Black Flash, Yuji actually copied Sukuna's main ability.
Gojo's plan all along.
This was Shrine. With it, Yuji can slice apart any surface he touches, an enemy's flesh, the ground beneath him, even the boundary between two souls in one body. Enough hits can even cause those two souls to separate.
Like a souped-up version of his normal punches.
Even better, Yuji finally gained access to the most powerful weapon in any sorcerer's arsenal, a domain expansion.
Basically, a pocket dimension created by the sorcerer where their ability will hit no matter what. No contact needed. If you're trapped in Yuji's domain, you're getting sliced to ribbons.
With all his power and training and righteous fury, Yuji severed Sukuna's soul from Megami's body, freeing his friend from the demon's clutches. But not before offering Sukuna one last chance at redemption.
Which he rejected before dying because, well, evil. Leaving Yuji to grow into one of the most fearsome sorcerers in history.
Turns out the cursed objects that Yuji consumed made him part curse and slowed his aging to a crawl, giving him decades of training and battle experience.
He's mastered blood manipulation, can pull off black...
Yuji is stronger than Gojo and Sukuna by the time of Modulo, and should scale to their feats, such as Gojo creating an earthquake felt over 100 miles, and Sukuna vaporizing part of Shibuya.
Flashes at will and shredded entire cities apart with Shrine. Just like Gojo and Sukuna before him, he became the strongest.
But what actually makes someone
surpassed Gojo, Nanami, and Sukuna's Black Flash records? Dodged piercing blood, withstood Mahito cratering him into the earth, created a 4-mile wide dust explosion using Dismantle, kept on fighting with his liver pierced, became a special grade sorcerer, and defeated Eso, Mahito, Higurama, and Sukuna.
Truly strong. For Sukuna, it was the power to stand alone atop all others. But to Yuji, it was the opposite.
The only reason he had survived as long as he had was because of the mercy and sacrifice of his friends.
So Yuji brought together friends and allies, new and old, to create a world eventually free from curses entirely, fulfilling not just Gojo's wish, but his grandfather's as well.
Because if Yuji Itadori was one thing, he was strong. Wiz, if there are two truths in this world, two universal constants, it's these. Life sucks and then you die.
Especially for a young boy,
Denji,
who was so poor and unlucky.
Name Denji. Age 18 years old. Height 5'8" or 173 centimeters. Occupation, high school student and devil hunter. Is a cannibal. Canonically has sold one of his balls. Likes Nayuta, Asa, themes and such. Dislikes cults, honey traps, and vomit. I mean, I'm sure he's an okay guy or something, but like, really, he's a cannibal and has sold one of his balls, and people like root for this guy. It's, I don't know.
He doesn't even know his last name.
With an alcoholic father forever indebted to the Yakuza, and a diet consisting of whatever garbage he could get his hands on, all Denji had in this world was his dog, Pochita.
Who happened to have a chainsaw sticking out of his face. really putting the tear in Terrier.
Pochita wasn't an actual dog, obviously. He was a devil. Monstrous superpowered beings literally from hell that are created by and represent humanity's worst fears. In Pochita's case, literally the personification of chainsaws.
Oh, he's so cute. Who would be afraid of chainsaws? They're the most versatile tool in the world. Perfect for jumping trees, opening cans, massacring your foes.
Apparently, Pochita had no problem with that last part as he and Denji hunted down and killed his devil brethren.
It's a tough job, but when selling your testicles won't pay off your dad's debts, it'll do.
That is, until Denji was cornered and forced to learn about those two universal constants. Life sucks, and then you die.
But sometimes, if you're really unlucky, there's a third option.
Born from his and Pochita's contract, a literal deal with the devil, Pochita would become one with Denji's body in exchange for Denji to live a happy life.
And so the two fused into a half-human, half-devil hybrid, the Chainsaw Man, aka a one-man, blood-soaked devil-slaying machine. The perfect candidate for the public safety devil hunters, led by this piece of work. With nothing controlling him but his raging teenage hormones, Denji would battle all of devil kind in the hopes of one day getting laid.
And he was a natural.
Seriously?
Not getting laid.
This is the fucking guy that we're supposed to root for in Chainsaw Man. Pervert who sold one of his own testicles and is a fucking cannibal. I don't know if I want to watch Chainsaw Man.
As for Chainsaw Man, Denji can slice through just about anything and generate new chainsaws from any surface of his body.
Or swing him around on massively long chains. Oh man, that's so cool.
It helps that Denji is incredible.
Devil physiology, blood-fueled regeneration, chainsaws, extendable chains, applicable to any part of his body, and can turn objects into chainsaws. Pochita, existence eraser via consumption, and Denji Man. Denji and Porcha fully fused.
Incredibly powerful, capable of lifting and throwing cars, surviving being blasted through several buildings, and moving way faster than the eye can see.
And if he happens to get torn apart by some ornery devil, no biggie, because he can regenerate from just about anything.
Denji has survived being sliced to pieces, having his head torn off, being dipped in demonic stomach acid for hours, and even
what was this?
pieces, having his head torn off, being dipped in.
See that stomach acid coming down? I'm sure that's what dissolved all these people before. Huh. Power listened in silence. She thought she heard some other tone mixed in with the roar of the blasting acid and the roar of the devil. When was the last time you saw Denji? Right before I went to wake you up. He was asleep and tied up at the time. That means Denji is still in the gut. Yeah? What about it? When Power raised her voice, Kenzo said in surprise, "What? He's from the Public Security Bureau? What kind of place is the Public Security Bureau?" "Oh yeah, Power, you sold me out." When Denji suddenly realized what was happening and started running, acid rain poured down on him without mercy. Aw geez, what the hell? What was that supposed to tell us?
Demonic stomach acid for hours, being sliced to pieces, having his head torn off, being dipped in demonic stomach acid for hours, and even getting his heart ripped out.
Haven't we all?
Devil's innate regeneration should also make them resistant to poison. The violence being is constantly exposed to poison gas and yet remains unharmed.
Chainsaw Man didn't regenerate his heart. Oh no, his heart regenerated a Chainsaw Man.
Even
what?
Separating Denji and
the Commonwealth Games on CBC and CBC Gem.
Pochita won't stop them. When Denji was stuck in this alternate dimension, he and Pochita still possessed a metaphysical connection.
With their stomachs.
While his healing factor can be overtaxed, all he needs to do is drink some blood and he's back to full health.
And considering that chainsawing devils apart is basically an infinite blood exploit, he almost never runs out, only limited by the violence-induced psychotic frenzy he enters in combat.
Well, he's not actually crazy. Denji might be, okay, definitely is an under-socialized moron led by his dick, but he's surprisingly clever in combat.
Almost always thinking outside the box and coming up with so dumb they're brilliant strategies to take on devils that should be too strong for him.
In short, Denji was the perfect soldier and was rewarded for his efforts with something that began to resemble a happy life. Aki, the stern older brother, Power, the bratty younger sister, and Makima, his boss and the girl of his dreams.
All Denji had to do to finally score with that dead-eyed redhead was to kill the most fearsome devils in existence, like the Typhoon Devil, who created a massive hurricane, or the Bomb Devil, who could blow up most of a city, or the Gun Devil, who could travel around the world and kill over 1 million people in about 5 minutes.
But plot twist, he had to kill Makima too, because she was secretly the Control Devil, one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Everything she told Denji was a lie. The happy life he created, the family he made, all of it was designed to be torn down.
All with one goal: to force Denji to break his contract with Pochita and become her servant, order 66ing every devil she didn't like. But when Denji did...
Well, Denji and Portia have been separated for extended periods. This was because Denji did not want to rejoin with him. The two can reunite much more quickly if they wish.
Did break, Pochita took over.
Now, Pochi might look cute and cuddly, but the Chainsaw Devil is one of the strongest and scariest dudes in the universe, capable of tearing through hordes of devil hybrids like nothing.
More than enough to give Denji his opening to beat Makima by cutting her up into sashimi and eating her whole. A very similar solution to the Chainsaw Devil's most powerful ability.
Anything Pochita eats gets deleted from existence. Yeah, like it never happened in the first place. World War II? Gone. AIDS? Nada. Nuclear frickin' bombs? A light tasty afternoon snack, thank you very much. Forgive me, chainsaws. I knew not your power.
He also ate the Death Devil. Yes, Denji ate death, which means no one on Earth could die.
Oh, you think that's messed up? Let's talk about his next romance, Asa.
A sweet, shy, awkward girl, perhaps Denji's one true love, except for the fact that she shares a body with Makima's sister, Yoru, the War Devil.
Who herself is in love with the greatest warmonger of them all, the United States of America.
Of course.
And Yoru was determined to use her love of the USA to drown the world in a ceaseless hurricane of blood.
Denji, buddy, you ever considered maybe switching to guys or something? Because
I mean,
every single woman you meet has tried to kill you.
It was in Denji's climactic battle.
I mean, Boomstick might have a point there. Just saying. Lifted a car and large chunks of Earth, dodged a spear traveling from the moon to Earth, took a nuclear punch to the face, regenerated from just his heart, outwitted the aging devil, survived a sword strike containing the massive Oregon. It defeated Reze, Makima, Yoro, and Santa Claus. Wait, what?
War Devil that his and Pochita's bond finally matured, giving Denji full control of the Chainsaw Devil's power. A kind of Denji Man, I guess.
Which he used to kick the War Devil's ass. And she was no joke, strong enough to shoot Pochita from across the globe with a near light.
When most of Pochita's body was destroyed by the gun goddess's shot, he was incredibly low on blood and couldn't regenerate his arm. In the rematch with Yoro, Denji Man was tough enough to block several of Yoro's stronger bangs.
Speed 2-ton bullet from the goddamn Statue of Liberty. Better yet, Yoru was so powerful she turned Oregon into a sword. Yes, the state of Oregon. Crumple the entire landmass into a blade, fly it over to Japan, and swing it at Denji. And he matched its power.
All weapons made by Yoro, like the aquarium sword, contain the mass of the object or locale she has ownership of. Given her weapons gain power, the more attachment she has to an object, the Oregon sword power should exceed the Statue of Liberty bullet.
Also threw the American flag at him. The one on the moon. You know, the moon in space. In seconds. And he dodged it.
With the whole world literally falling apart, Pochita realized that becoming Chainsaw Man made Denji's dream for a normal life impossible.
Something Denji was always too stubborn and selfish to realize until it was too late.
So Pochita did what any good dog would do. Eat himself and erase the Chainsaw Devil from existence, creating a new world without him and leaving Denji just Denji.
But maybe all this time, Denji was enough. Being Chainsaw Man could not save his loved ones, but being Denji could.
Because, sure, life sucks and then, yeah, you'll die. But while you're stuck in between, chasing your dreams with your buds can help make life worth living.
Huh.
All right, the battle's about to start. But first,
Pitch calls or calls over now. Or it's kind of site members.
Oh!
I don't know. After hearing all that, I think Chainsaw Man might win this one, but we'll see.
Oh man! Oh no! You're fine. You're fine.
You know they're dead.
It wasn't my fault.
The Commonwealth Games on CBC and CBC Gem. Team Canada.
I've never felt such weird cursed energy like his before.
Say your prayers.
You're a chainsaw curse?
Oh no! I'm the hero to all! Kicker of asses! Magnet to chicks! Half man, half devil! Chainsaw man! Let's finish this! Chainsaw instant death technique!
Bro, really? Fucking. Acted like you could do a special move that just booted him in the balls.
Wait for it.
Ow.
I realized you had two cursed energy sources in one body, so I separated them.
That's not gonna work. Now you're just fighting fucking Chainsaw Man, dude, or the Chainsaw Devil. It's not a good situation for you at all. This dude has zero chill.
Domain expansion.
You messed up, baby! Pojidan are our brothers! You'll never keep us apart! Domain expansion. Finally got you to stop moving! See? We can be smart too, huh?
Punk ass bitch.
Oh shit.
Try.
Oh shit. And looks like Chainsaw Man's winning this. Damn, you just keeping him the hands though, like, seriously. That's it. Yeah, there we go.
A human and a curse. Brothers. You don't see that every day.
KO.
I wonder if that burger place is still open.
KO! If Yuji Itadori was one thing, he was strong. Just not strong enough today.
Let's break this down into 4 chapters. Their speed, skill, abilities, and power.
First off, who was faster?
Yuji's greatest speed feat is the Black Flash. In order to apply cursed energy within 1 microsecond of a strike, Yuji would have to move and react at over 900 times the speed of sound.
Insanely fast, but
Sukuna contends with Kashimo's EM waves and Jacob's ladder, but his relative speed is unclear. He could have avoided the EM waves before they were fired. Why did that sentence end there? I feel like there should be more to that sentence, whatever. Higher end calculations of the Moon Spear puts Denji faster than both.
remember that time Denji dodged that flag that Yoru summoned from the moon? You know, the one that's over 200,000 miles away?
Considering Denji's position from start to impact, all while in the midst of a fast-paced battle. This must have happened in a matter of seconds.
We'll lowball it and say 10. Though it'd probably have to be faster to use against Denji in a fight.
This means the flag must have been moving over 12% the speed of light.
Over 100 times faster than the Black Flash.
Now, that's lowballing. Yuka's Mahoraga is confirmed to be stronger than the one Gojo battled. Despite this, Deborah outsped and overpowered it with his light technique, so not even top tiers in Jujutsu Kaisen reliably scale, especially since it was a technique and not Deborah's natural speed.
Only stronger since his adolescence, but we know for a fact that in Jujutsu Kaisen, relativistic speeds are something humanity has explicitly not yet achieved.
So it's pretty clear that Denji takes speed.
However, Yuji has made a career out of going up against enemies far out of his league by relying on his skill.
And what a career it's been! He defeated the King of Curses all before he was even an adult, and he continued to train and master his jujutsu techniques for decades.
Whereas Denji, while certainly a clever, unorthodox fighter, would often get by due to his sheer stubbornness and durability more than anything else.
With Yuji's greater experience and martial arts combined, he was definitely the more skilled fighter.
What wasn't as clear-cut was who had the better abilities.
Specifically, how well they can cut each other and how well they can heal from being cut. So I guess it's their cut ability.
Both could survive pretty insane wounds, though Denji's devil healing factor was superior.
The most Yuji has ever healed were some big slashes against his stomach.
And while other similarly powerful sorcerers like Gojo could regenerate lost limbs, Denji could regenerate almost all of his body from a single cord pull. That being said, Yuji's soul targeting attacks.
Denji's poison resistance and regeneration counter Yuji's poisonous blood, as death painting wounds poison has been cured through reverse curse technique. Denji would have little issue drinking Yuji's blood or power drain through blood manipulation.
Have done lasting damage against those with superior healing like Mahito.
Not just that, but literally splitting two souls apart. That's how he beat Sukuna, and he could potentially do the same thing to break apart Denji and Pochita.
However, it's not so simple. Sukuna was already severely weakened at the time, and it took Yuji several hits to separate him and Megami.
And on top of that, even if Denji and Pochita were split up, we know they keep a metaphysical connection when apart. In fact, they were split up when they were fighting Makaba, and they had no problem rejoining. No reason they couldn't do it again here.
However, Denji's healing factor isn't unlimited. He'll need blood to heal eventually, and the range and speed of Yuji's slashes would force Denji to tank them to get up close.
Even if he could,
Yuji could theoretically block Denji's chainsaws by coating his hands in slashes, but Denji's greater speed means that Yuji probably wouldn't be able to react in time. Pochita often begins fights by speed blitzing, such as his battle with Makima.
Healing factor wouldn't last nearly as long against Denji's chainsaws, but then Yuji could back off, Denji chase him, and so on.
Like an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object, neither had a clear edge in cut ability.
So what it ultimately came down to was power. Who could do the most damage and wear the other guy down first?
Yuji slicing apart an entire city is one of the most impressive feats in all of Jujutsu Kaisen. By measuring the clouds of dust created in his attack's wake, we can estimate he launched over 5.5 million tons of debris into the air. That kind of force is equivalent to over 3 megatons of TNT, comparable to a hydrogen bomb.
But unfortunately for Yuji, while he could cut apart a city, Denji was Oregon level.
The state of Oregon is the 9th largest.
Yuji's dismantle could reach greater yields depending on the dust density used. However, even the highest option would be dozens of times weaker than Chainsaw Man's best feats. These feats also surpass Urazu's construction technique and Kenjaku's durability.
Union by total area, nearly 100,000 square miles. By estimating its volume, Yoru compressed a mass weighing over 750 trillion tons. One swing from that sword would hit with an energy of over 30,000 megatons of TNT.
Which is like 10,000 hydrogen bombs. And not only did Denji survive a swing, he straight up overpowered it. That's insanely strong, but
Deborah ramming Mahagra at near light speed seems similar to the gun goddess's shot. However, with greater mass and at similar speeds, the bullet's kinetic energy surpasses Deborah's. Yuji implied he could defeat Deborah, but was unaware of the latter's ever-growing strength against Maharaga.
Not inconsistent, like the time Yoru fired that globe-spanning near-light-speed bullet from the Statue of Liberty.
Sure, Yuji's citywide dismantle was...
Despite never using them, Yuji should have access to both Cleave and Divine Flame. However, they both have a narrow range of effect and rely on the user's cursed energy output. Orshita regenerated from being bisected by the Oregon Sword, and withstood the heat of atmospheric re-entry, countering both abilities.
Done casually, but so was Yoru crumpling Oregon. Yuji's dismantles would need to be 1,000,000% stronger to do significant damage to Denji.
Especially with Denji's OP healing factor too.
Denji takes the final edge in power. All Denji needed was one good hit to finish the fight, and with his far greater speed, it was only a matter of time.
What can I say, Yuji? Denji's just got that dog in him.
The winner is Denji, the Chainsaw Man.
Next!
Alright. Up next, we have got Sentry versus Superman Prime. Actually don't know about Superman Prime. Or Superboy Prime, sorry, not Superman Prime. Sentry versus Superboy Prime. But yeah, I don't know who that is. I do know a little bit about the Sentry, so I'll cast my vote for him, but we'll see what they say in the previews and stuff. Didn't look like Superboy Prime was doing too well there.
Versus Superboy Prime.
These two dark supermen prove that sometimes absolute power corrupts absolutely.
He's Wiz
Yeah.
and I'm Boomstick.
So reading
It's
in
our
the
job to
saying.
analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
One superhero stands alone at the peak of Marvel Comics. He's a brilliant scientist and friend to all, the Golden Guardian of Good, the Sentry.
Which makes it all the more mysterious when all of humanity forgot about him, as though he never existed in the first place.
What if the reason we forgot Sentry is that he wanted to be forgotten?
To save us from himself.
As the story goes, Robbie
Alright, real name Robbie Reynolds. Height 6 feet or 183 centimeters. Weight 194 pounds or 88 kilograms. Also known as the Golden Guardian of Good and Fabio Man. Is the arch enemy of the Void. Once drank a lake filled with LSD. Okay, not gonna question that. Comic books are weird. That's the explanation for it. Owner of Watchdog. Who or what is Watchdog?
Reynolds was just your average, ordinary high school teen until the day he accidentally drank this super soldier serum.
At that moment, Robbie was imbued with the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns, becoming one of the strongest superheroes in existence.
That's gotta be one hell of a bowel movement. And what better way to use his new powers than to become a sentry to all mankind?
In a never-ending crusade against his devious arch-nemesis, the Void.
He's got all your classic, I can't believe he's not Kryptonian superpowers, like
Yeah.
super strength, speed, durability, and flight.
Made them look like
Spot you
children.
from miles away, or even hear a butterfly sneeze from across
The wall of Tepigs. Oh my god, I'm gonna double down. Oh!
across the planet.
You butterflies sneeze?
No!
Well,
Okay.
Sentry cells absorb and
Enhanced strength, intelligence, and senses. Flight, solar energy manipulation, which gives him access to energy blasts, waves, force fields, and invisibility. Psionic powers, which give him access to telepathy, mind manipulation, and memory eraser. Teleportation, regeneration, molecular kinesis, meaning he can arrange his molecules or affect molecules somehow. And reality warping. Let's see. His eyes are blue, hair is blonde. Superhuman powers, absorbing potentially limitless power from solar energy. Sentry is superhumanly strong, durable, and intelligent. Generates a powerful energy field and is capable of flight. His self-doubt manifests itself as the monstrous Void. paraphernalia. Sentry used the sentient computer clock, high-tech watchtower headquarters, and the watch wagon transportation.
Process the sun's rays, and if he wants to, he can fire that solar energy right back at you in a powerful laser, or bend light away to turn invisible, or use it to make force fields.
Really, the Sentry can draw power from anywhere and everywhere. When he was forcibly shrunk down to subatomic size, he started pulling energy from the microverse instead. And despite being microscopic, his punches were strong enough to destroy planets, even holding back.
Sentry can teleport, communicate telepathically, and even read and mess with minds.
He's also a genius with a super brain comparable to Tony Stark and Reed Richards. He's even built his own watchtower with an advanced AI that is constantly monitoring the planet for threats.
Jesus Christ, he's like the Avengers all in one. Why do there even need to be any other superheroes?
Indeed, the Sentry is more than strong enough to take on Marvel's heaviest hitters, like his famous battle with the Green Scar Hulk, where Black Bolt, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange failed. The Sentry was the only one who stood against the Hulk's full power.
He's also battled Thor, who collapsed an infinite number of timelines into one by clashing with another Thor.
The Sentry is incredibly fast, too. He can bend space and speed blitz Ares, who can move within Planck time, the smallest unit of time possible in our universe.
He's stated to be as fast as the Heralds of Galactus, like the Silver Surfer, who once outraced the multiverse blowing up. The Surfer flew so fast he went back in time, so you'd think Sentry would be able to handle some punk in a trench coat.
But it wasn't so simple. The Void was everywhere that the Sentry wasn't.
If Sentry saved people from a burning building, Void would crash an airplane. If Sentry healed a person's broken back, Void would give someone else cancer. What an asshole!
For every good
yeah,
the Sentry performs, the Void commits an evil one. Because the truth was, the Sentry and the Void were one and the same.
Dun dun dun.
Twist. Turns out Sentry's whole origin story was a lie.
Oh, this is all the same stuff. Fuck.
Robbie Reynolds wasn't a 60s high schooler beating up bullies like some Jack Kirby comic.
In reality,
okay, here we go. His true background. Real name, Robert Bob Reynolds. Height, 6 feet or 183 centimeters. Weight, 194 pounds or 88 kilograms, also known as the Void. Has been part of the New Avengers, the Dark Avengers, and the Horsemen of Death. Diagnosed with schizophrenia, agoraphobia, and anxiety. Owner of Leica. The fuck is Leica?
Bob Reynolds was a schizophrenic meth addict who drank the Sentry serum just to get high. And the Void was, in reality, a malevolent godlike entity bonded to Bob that was the literal angel of death.
Yes, from the Bible, with Moses and the Pharaoh and the dead firstborns. That's him, apparently.
And this being manifests as the dark side of Bob's shattered psyche, a villainous alter ego with all of his power. Too much power for any one man to handle. The only way to destroy the Void was to also destroy the Sentry.
So Bob did something crazy. With help from Reed's tech, he used his own psychic powers to erase himself from everyone's past, present, and future, including his own.
Warping the perception of reality of every single person on the planet. They would no longer remember him or even recognize anything remotely related to him. A picture of the Sentry would still technically exist, but in your mind's eye, including Bob's, it isn't there.
Great. Everyone knows that pressing your problems always makes them better.
Yeah, definitely.
Your cavities.
What could possibly go wrong with this plan?
So all you really have to do.
Bob's memories eventually clawed their way back, in part thanks to Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, and his desire to somehow control the Void. So Norman had the Thunderbolts murder Bob's wife Lindy in order to release, you know, the Angel of Death.
Yeah, try controlling the kind of guy who can throw hands with Molecule Man, who somehow is one of the strongest beings in all of Marvel. At his peak, he's got almost complete control over the multiverse. So yeah, Good luck with that one, Norm.
Molecule Man was another mentally unstable god whose power fluctuates based on their self-confidence. In a way, a sort of kindred spirit to Bob.
It was then that Bob discovered the true source of his own powers, his own control over molecules. Yeah, you can do that too.
The Sentry can create and destroy matter on a whim, able to rip you apart at the molecular level, or conjure an entire new reality from scratch, all with just a wave of his hand, like Dr. Manhattan.
He can also regenerate his body from any kind of damage, like being burnt to a skeleton or getting Dr. Manhattan himself.
As long as one single solitary atom remains, the Sentry is unkillable.
And Void's got all of this and more.
Infinitendrils, darkness manipulation, weather manipulation, soul manipulation, pyrokinesis, shapeshifting, dimensional travel, and possession is what the Void is capable of.
Except he doesn't hold back. He can shapeshift, create hurricanes, trap you in darkness, possess your body, and devour your soul.
With his Infinitendrils, the Void takes control of a victim's mind and tortures them with the memories of past traumas and
I remember that from the movie.
He killed Loki. He wrecked...
The Void also overwhelmed Doctor Strange and Loki as Sorcerer Supreme, allowing it to scale to other powerful magic users in Marvel, such as Dormammu, who sustains the multiverse-spanning Dark Dimension.
Asgard, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the Inhumans, and the X-Men teaming up all at once could barely handle him. Void is one of the biggest bads in
that's
Marvel.
crazy.
Great fucking job, Norm. I'm
Yeah.
something of a moron
Rob
myself.
fucking
The
out.
only way forward,
Wields the power of 1,000,000 supernovas, is equal to the Thor and Hulk. Flew light years in seconds, overloaded the Absorbing Man with his energy. The Void overpowered Doctor Strange and Loki simultaneously. Merge Sentry once killed a dead Celestial. If it was dead, how did he kill it? Whatever. Defeated Ares, Loki, Doctor Doom, Blue Marvel, and the Molecule Man.
For Bob to save everyone, including himself, was to do something he never imagined. Let the Void in.
By refusing to repress his darker half anymore, Sentry and Void merged and became stronger than the sum of their parts.
One being, now free to finally live his life without the crushing weight of self-hatred and fear.
Maybe, but this is the Void we're talking about. What if Bob just has a new puppet master who's only letting him think he's in control?
As long as the Void exists, it's just another revolution in that same endless cycle. It remains to be seen whether even death itself can break that wheel.
He'll be back. Sentry is gone, but not forgotten. He'll never be forgotten again.
Do you believe a man can fly?
Yeah, Wiz, within the pages of DC Comics, everyone in their irradiated six-dimensional gorilla mother can do it.
Well, what about in the real world? Not Earth 1 or Earth 2, but our own Earth. Earth Prime.
The Earth of you, me, and
So that's why he's Superboy Prime. But he's from our world. How in the hell is he a house? Names: Tallow or Tent. Age 19. Height 5'11" or 87 years. Weight 107 pounds or 77 kilograms. Also known as Superman Prime, time travel. So I was right, Superman Prime, whatever. Time Trapper is a comic book fanboy, and his signature catchphrase is "It's prime time."
Clark Kent, a totally normal boy from New England who just happened to share a name with that comic book character.
Mere coincidence. That is, until the day Clark took a leap of faith and believed he could fly.
And he did! Surprise, surprise, Clark was actually from the planet Krypton, which
Wait, what?
apparently exists in our universe now? Anyway,
The ship?
real Superman, the one from all those comics he loved, showed up just in time to give him the skinny on being Superboy. Wait, he could have chosen me! I believe I can fly!
Boomstick. Dumbass.
For only $12.99 at Domino's, carry out your cravings with a large 2-topping pizza. Made fresh to order.
Clark had all your classic Kryptonian powers. Flight, heat vision, microscopic and telescopic sight, Arctic breath. It was the dream that every little boy had finally come true.
I mean, yeah.
just in time for his universe, our universe, to be annihilated literally 1 month later in DC Comics Armageddon, the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Wiz, we're canonically dead since 1986, apparently.
With everyone he knew and loved gone, Clark took shelter in a pocket dimension with other cosmic refugees. Now an anachronism in DC's new, rebooted, post-crisis continuity, Clark was forced to watch as the comics landscape changed before his eyes. As stories became darker and morally complex, as heroes failed to be the paragons of good he saw them as in his childhood.
As someone else got to be Superboy.
Some people can't stand change, can't stand to see a world that doesn't look the way it did when they were a child. The day needed to be saved by Superboy, the real Superboy, Superboy Prime.
So he did what any Superboy would do, punch really hard.
Yeah.
He punched his way out of the dimension so hard, the shockwaves rippled through the universe and retconned DC Comics.
Whoa,
Superboy
what?
was back, and he was gonna fix comic books forever. Hell yeah!
No matter how many fake heroes got in his way.
Oh shit!
Oh.
Super Chud Prime isn't just
Who
your
the fuck was that? Who did he just
Kryptonian.
kill?
Comic books forever. Hell yeah!
No matter.
Is that Firestorm? Did you just murder Firestorm?
How many fake heroes got in his way?
Oh shit! Super Chud Prime isn't just your ordinary Kryptonian. Oh no, he's pre-crisis.
As in, from before the Crisis on Infinite Earths. A time
Yeah.
when comics were a bit more comical.
When Superman could sneeze solar systems apart or tow a galaxy of planets behind him like it was nothing.
Or clash with another Kryptonian so hard, they generated enough power to restore an infinite number of timelines.
Get ready to hear that word a lot. My
Yeah,
favorite
probably.
is the time Superman flew so fast he broke the light barrier, the time barrier, and even the bonds of infinity. I wonder if these writers ever imagined this bullshit would feed nerd arguments for the next half century. Not that I'm complaining. That's how I get paid.
Fair enough.
No, he is a self-described power scaler's dream.
Huh. You think he's heard about us?
We can only hope not. As a Kryptonian with an ultra-dense molecular structure, he should also share many of the same resistances, like being transmuted to stone, having his atomic bond.
Solar armor. Kryptonian biology gives him heat vision, X-ray vision, microscopic vision, ice breath, flight, eidetic memory. I don't know what that is. Super senses. He is resistant to molecular manipulation, soul manipulation, and existence erasure. That's bad. Those were like the Sentry and Voids. Like that's what they do. Temporal anomaly gives him access to retcon punches and time travel.
Weakened or getting his energy drained. Kryptonians like Superman can withstand more esoteric attacks too. They can actively resist mental attacks by outthinking them, and their souls can resist being destroyed.
All thanks to Earth's good old yellow sun.
Superboy Prime also has the Silver Age Kryptonian ability to vibrate his molecules to travel to other universes or higher dimensions.
Fuel in his cells. And unlike that post-crisis super fraud who gets weaker without sunlight, Prime's got it covered.
With a suit of armor made from the corpse of the Anti-Monitor, which constantly feeds him solar energy. Literally wearing the pelt of the monster who destroyed his universe.
What was
Just
this?
to be better, truly wearing made from the corpse of the Anti-Monitor, which constantly feeds him solar energy. Literally wearing the pelt of the monster who destroyed his universe, just to be better and stronger than Superman.
Because that's what he thinks he is. Superman with better feats and scaling. Superman, but real.
Superman, if he was a fucking idiot. Okay, sure, he has the same hyper-efficient brain that all Kryptonians have, but when it came to being a superhero, he was a violent, immature moron.
Exactly what you'd expect from a kid who never grew up and never learned to hold back. Instead of saving Earth's heroes, he started massacring them. And let's be real, there's a part of him that knows that editorial will just bring them all back eventually.
He's battled the Doom Patrol, Justice Society, Teen Titans, and 3 Flashes at once. He effortlessly murdered an alternate universe Justice League and even killed his rival, Connor Kent, the new Superboy. Even as other Kryptonians grew in power to become comparable to their pre-crisis iterations, Prime still held an advantage because he never held back.
Like the time he tore apart the Monarch's armor, accidentally unleashing the Big Bang in his face, destroying the universe, and he was Prime.
Or the time a Guardian of the Universe blew himself up in an attempt to stop Prime, blasting him into the multiverse atom by atom, and that only made Prime stronger.
Or the time he fought a potential future version of himself who became a god of time. And instead of teaming up, Prime stupidly attacked him and accidentally retconned themselves both out of existence.
Which sent him home, back to his original universe, our universe. Except now everyone he knew, his parents, his girlfriend Lori, had been reading his comics. They knew what he had become, and they were terrified.
Once again, forced to watch as his heroes progressed without him, he pored over comic after comic, learning everything about DC.
And a little bit of Marvel.
Only to discover his worst possible nightmare.
Not only would he never get to be Superman, he wasn't even a super villain that people liked. Turns out, power levels aren't everything.
So, naturally, he flew to DC headquarters and attacked the people writing his own comic.
Like some infinitely recursive meta hell.
Prime had become a whiny, petulant, reactionary fanboy. Wiz, you think he's the guy posting on our Reddit?
And at the peak of his violent temper tantrum, he murdered the Golden Age Superman, the original Superman. Action Comics #1, the first superhero.
Instead of restoring DC's glorious past, Prime beat it to death. He needed to change.
And that opportunity came when this alternate universe Jokerized Batman who laughs threatened to destroy all of reality.
Prime was drafted to help save the day, and it turned out he was the only Superboy who could.
Remember that time Prime punched reality so hard he retconned DC Comics? Turns
Yeah.
out that was no coincidence. Due to his repeated excursions across the multiverse, Prime became a space-time anomaly, and he slowly learned how to manipulate reality itself with his fists.
I guess you could call it his retcon punch!
At first, its effects were random, like bringing Jason Todd back to life or restoring Beast Boy's memories. But he started to use it to rewrite continuity to fix the evil universes of the Batman Who Laughs,
giving them and all the characters inside of them happy endings. In a weird way, that's what Superman has always done, right? Punch the bad guys so hard he saves the day.
Prime can punch hard enough to enter the...
Yeah, Superman was was originally created to be a simple solution to a complicated problem. No matter the problem, Superman could always show up and punch his way out of it. By using his powers and by punching hard enough, he could save the day no matter what the situation. That's what Superman basically was created for. Has moved and destroyed planets, tanked the Monarch's Big Bang to the face, reacted to 3 flashes at the same time, punched his way out of the Phantom Zone, has altered DC Comics continuity multiple times, has fought both Post-Crisis and Golden Age Superman simultaneously, and has defeated the Black Lanterns, Ion, Mr. Mxyzptlk, and the Darkest Night.
Time stream, seemingly exit the comic medium entirely, and even defeat the nigh-omnipotent Darkest Night.
Who was powerful enough to beat Perpetua, the goddess who created all of DC Comics, the whole shebang! And Prime hit the Darkest Night so hard, he erased his entire evil multiverse.
A feat that no one actually saw happen. Prime's
Damn.
first true act of heroism was one that he did selflessly. And
Level 500 VIP, this is your exclusive presidential suite. Level 100, not bad. You'll stay in the standard single room on the 748th floor.
How much longer till we get there, man?
Fucking stupid games.
it was the first step toward becoming a true hero.
The kind of hero that Superman always secretly knew he could be. A hero who could someday get his own issue #1. A hero like, well, Superman.
Maybe one day Prime will truly believe in himself, just like he once believed he could fly. All right, the battle's about to begin, but first, battle our pick page, you get recognize data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
This city won't last much longer. Quit while you're behind, kid.
And mess up a superhero crossover? No way, dork.
Onomatopoeia coming right up!
Whiff. See, I think Superboy Prime might win this one after seeing all that. He sounds way crazier than the Sentry. Plus, he's resistant to soul and manipulation.
You're dealing with someone who has the power
Shut up.
of 1,000,000 exploding suns!
Big mistake, dipwad. It's prime time.
It's what?
And he's charged on solar energy.
Are you kidding me? Another Dark Superman fraud? Boring! It's cool when I do it.
Was it though? Damn.
Please, stop hitting me.
He'll kill you.
I'll kill you. To death.
Bad mistake.
Bye-bye, Bob. It's time to play God.
Yeah, time to dip.
Okay, you weren't joking. Definitely a crisis level threat. Luckily, so am I.
Oh shit.
Run all you want! If Bob couldn't escape me.
What hope do you have, boy?
Oh damn.
Afraid of the Dark Clark? What kind of a hero are you? Remind me again, whatever happened to Lori?
Damn.
It's over, Clark. There is no happy ending. Not for you. Not for me. Not for anyone else. In the void.
Haven't you ever read a comic book, you big freaking nerd? There's always a happy ending.
Yep. Even if it takes a while, it's there. You just gotta keep punching.
Bob? You kept talking about the Sentry. Bad dream?
No idea, Lindy. Best sleep I've had in years.
Crisis averted.
I don't think
That
I've
was
ever
nice.
seen someone beaten to death so wholesomely before.
yeah.
Let's break this down into 3 chapters. Their strength, intelligence, and powers.
As with any flying brick fight, the first question you gotta answer is, who's stronger?
Prime and Sentry are naturally 2 of the heaviest hitters in DC and Marvel, more than capable of matching and surpassing Herald-level opponents like Superman and Thor.
Who are both strong enough to create and destroy an infinite number of timelines with their clashes. Just absolute wacky bullshit like that.
So in order to pick a winner, we have to take a close look at the strongest beings they fought. Molecule Man and the Darkest Knight.
Sentry beat the crap out of Molecule Man, but remember, Eminem's power...
Sentry is stated by Tony Stark and Moonstone to be capable of replicating an event on par with the House of M. However, the two were unaware of the broader scale effects of that event, making it unclear if the Sentry's full power could be comparable to that.
can fluctuate a lot, and when he fought Sentry, he wasn't at his full power.
Originally, the Molecule Man used a steel rod or wand to direct his powers, but it turned out this was merely a way of focusing them, and he's long since learned to do it without. His powers seem to fluctuate according to his confidence and self-belief. When he's up, he is well nigh omnipotent and able to challenge the likes of even the Beyonder. When he's down, he's powerful but can be overcome by the likes of the Sentry.
So we can only scale this so far.
But Prime overpowered the Darkest Knight after the Mad Bat had absorbed the powers of both Perpetua and, what do you know, Dr. Manhattan, both of which alone could threaten.
Prime is also more than comparable to the mainline Superman, who was able to subdue the World Forger, one of Perpetua's children, and destroy his new multiverse in a single punch.
all of DC Comics.
And unlike with Molecule Man, there's nothing to suggest the Darkest Night was holding back. In a straight brawl, Prime takes the edge in strength. But muscles aren't everything. Maybe Sentry could figure out a way around Prime's brawn with his intelligence.
While Prime does possess a super advanced Kryptonian brain, he clearly does not use it to its full extent.
It's less that he's dumb and more that he's a teenager and has a habit of crashing out.
The Sentry, on the other hand, has been compared to Tony Stark and Reed Richards, some of the most intelligent people in all of Marvel Comics.
Sure, he mentally struggles with the whole Void thing, which sucks for him, but losing control to the Void only makes him more dangerous.
And as the Merge Sentry, he's operating at his peak, fully in control of his powers. In a test of wits and wills, the Sentry was the more intelligent.
But the main question in this matchup had to do with their batshit insane powers.
With the Sentry's ability to reshape molecular matter and warp perception of reality to such an incredible degree, his powers seem much more versatile than Prime's. Prime may be stronger, but heat vision, frost breath, and Kryptonian punches aren't going to do much in the long run against someone who can regenerate from a single atom.
But pre-crisis Kryptonians have actually resisted having their molecules torn apart before, and Prime should be no different. So it's not like Sentry was ever going to just Doc Manhattan him away.
Prime could still be worn down. Kryptonians have incredible stamina, but we know that sustained damage will eventually knock them out or kill them.
Unless Prime could find a way around.
The Sentry was able to regenerate his body after being destroyed by Morgan Le Fay. When she claimed that she can erase a person's entire timeline, there is no evidence to suggest that she used this technique on the Sentry, and later admits that doing so would in fact put her own life in danger.
Sentry's insane regeneration? He was toast.
Luckily for Prime, his ability to retcon away your history and mess with your whole timeline was actually something Sentry had no specific resistance to.
Not only that, it was something he's been affected by in the past.
Like the time the Scarlet Witch rewrote all of reality during House of M. Bob's continuity was rewritten like everyone else's.
Or the time Absorbing Man had the powers of a cosmic cube and warped Sentry's personal reality. Shit, Moonstone literally describes it as a reality punch.
Now, Sentry's psionic power?
Sentry implanted his memories of the Silver Age into Earth 616 Paul Jenkins to write comics of his history after making the world forget his existence. This only affected people's memory of the Sentry, as both him and the Void still existed during their time forgotten. They were just dormant.
Or could theoretically retcon himself from Prime's perception of reality. However, this feat required assistance from Reed Richards, and it's unlikely he could pull it off mid-fight.
Pre-crisis Kryptonians also resist a lot of mind manipulation anyway, so good luck trying.
Now, Prime hasn't always had the most perfect control over his retcon punch, so he might need more than one blow to finish the job.
But Prime was more than capable of powering through Void's scariest abilities.
Like having his soul eaten, or being cut off from sunlight. I guess that edgelord solar armor came in handy after all.
In short, Prime could resist everything Sentry could throw at him, but Sentry couldn't do the same. Prime takes the final edge in powers.
With no way to easily put him down, Prime would eventually muscle his way through and retcon the Void away for good.
Sorry, Bob. Defeat was unavoidable.
The winner is Superboy Prime.
What the shit?
Oh, hey, my pizza's here.
What the fuck?
Is Superboy Prime. Letter to the editors. Oh yeah, I win. That's right. You hack frauds really tried to lowball me, but I checked the clock and it's prime time, baby. Now,
the fuck is happening?
That intelligence section was such a gimme. I don't crash out. I'm a tragic hero grappling with real, intense emotion. I can be smart anytime I want. But anyway,
sure you can.
Don't subscribe, don't join as a member, don't watch Death Battle, read my comics. Prime out.
Next time on Death.
What a fucking dink toucher. Alright. Looks like we got one more now. It's the newest one, guys. Hit refresh here.
At Perfect Bistro, our chef serves up nourishing
should be out
ingredients
fully
cats
now.
crave,
Yeah, there we go.
and nothing they don't. Because when you're crafting 5-star cuisine, you demand perfection.
Come on.
Perfect Bistro. Perfection for
Let me
every
skip.
At plus 500, everything starts with a trader. Every feature, every innovation.
Alright, so we have got the Avatar Aang versus the Genshin Impact Traveler, which I believe is one of the two possible protagonists from Genshin Impact. I played a little bit. I was gonna get into it, but when my buddy was playing it, then like he stopped playing it like as I was getting into it. So we never played together or anything. I don't know. I have seen a lot of the Last Airbender though, because who hasn't? I've had Aang on here once before. He fought oh my god, what's his fucking name? He fought the protagonist of Full Metal Alchemist. Forget his name. Based on what I saw in that, right now, before hearing, I don't know what this guy's capable of. So before hearing what the protagonist of Genshin Impact is capable of, I'm gonna go with Aang. Based on what I know about him and what I've seen in the previous death battles. Is that like an adult Aang? He didn't look 10 there.
Versus Aether the Traveler.
Which journeyman will come out on top in this elemental battle?
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Water, earth, fire, air.
This part's probably gonna have to get cut. Every time this happens, I get a copyright strike from this shit.
This avatar reincarnated
Or not a strike, but like when I go to upload it, it tells me.
Their own struggles. And man, was that true for our boy Aang.
Not at first, of course, thanks to his master and guardian, Yatso.
As a cheeky little air nomad, Aang traveled the world causing shenanigans, all while learning to control the winds with airbending.
Based on the real-life martial art Bagua Zhang, airbending is the most spiritual of the 4 bending styles, focusing on evading and diverting attacks through circular motions. With even the smallest movement, Aang can create tornadoes, run like the wind, and block hypersonic explosions.
The perfect style for a twinkle-toed goose.
Name, Avatar Aang. Age, 112. Biologically, though, he is 12, because he got frozen iceberg for 100 years. He is 4'6" or 137 centimeters, air nomad of the Southern Air Temple, co-founder of the United Republic of Nations, and master of penguin sledding and koi surfing.
Fall like Aang. He even invented his own technique, the air scooter. How does he not fall off that thing?
Add in a glider staff for flight, and the sky was the limit. But you know how it goes. Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Their spread. War was inevitable.
Fucking Fire Nation
was the only one who could save the world.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with all that, and being forcibly separated from Gyatso. He was just a kid, so he froze up. Like, literally, he accidentally froze himself and his adorable Sky Bison Appa for 100 years.
Until he was awakened by the Water Tribe siblings, Katara and Sokka. Time wasn't kind to Aang's people. With no avatar to keep balance, the Airbenders, Aang's entire culture, were wiped out by the Fire Nation.
Oh, that's rough, buddy. But Aang took the wake-up call to heart.
As the Avatar, it's Aang's duty to understand the world's people, learning their cultures, their sadness, joy, and humanity.
And what better way to do that than learning how they kick ass?
From the Northern Water Tribe and his twin crush, Aang learned waterbending. Themed around fluid Tai Chi movements, this style controls liquid in all forms to freeze targets, create water whips, and even cut through steel.
Learning earthbending was way tougher.
Alrighty. Airbending. Air scooter, increased mobility, tornadoes, and spiritual protection. Earthbending. Earth armor, rock throwing, seismic sense, and tunneling. Waterbending. Ice manipulation, octopus form, water spouts, and water whip. Firebending. Dancing dragon form, heat control, fire stream, lightning redirection. And energy bending. The secret 5th bending.
But Aang's friend Toph taught him to stop being a wimpy pushover. Now he can armor himself in stone, move the terrain of entire cities, and fight fight blind with a sonar-style seismic sense.
Earthbending is themed around the steady stances of Hung Quan Kung Fu, waiting for the right moment to strike head-on.
There was a lot to learn, but even with the world at stake and this moody hothead on his tail, Aang had fun doing it. Who could forget the adventures penguin sledding, going through the bending bayous, and living in Ba Sing Se, the city where no wars ever happen.
Yet across
there
his
is no
journey,
war
one
in
power
Ba Sing Bay.
eluded Aang, the Avatar state, an enhanced mode of being that came to him in moments of peril.
Sure, if Aang dies in it, the Avatar cycle ends permanently, but who cares when it gives you enough power to wipe out a whole Navy fleet?
Come on, Boomstick.
I mean,
the
fair.
Avatar state is more than just a power amp.
Jocelyn, how long have you been standing there?
I've
Good
been
question.
here the whole time. I
Oh.
learned where all Avatar talk is. Through the cosmic power of the avatars before him and the ancient spirit Rava, Aang gains the knowledge and experience of all previous avatars, greatly expanding his bending options. Lava bending from Avatar Roku, sonic shouts from Avatar Yang Chen, and even more are theoretically available to him through their memories.
Oh, I get it. You can't just grind your way to controlling the Avatar state.
Right. If Aang wanted to stop Fire Lord Ozai, he needed something else.
He needed onion banana juice.
Yeah, technically, I suppose.
What the fuck is
Gross.
that?
Specifically,
Gross.
Aang sought the guidance of
Cosmic power boost, spiritual communion, enhanced bending, collective knowledge of all past avatars, access to unique bending from the past avatars, iridescent fire, internal freezing, lava bending, lightning generation, and sonic shouts. Also has a golem form.
Guru Patek. Mastering his power meant clearing his chakras, emptying his mind of earthly attachments. Seems simple, but this also meant rejecting his feelings for Katara, the person he loved most.
When he had to choose between the world or the girl, Aang followed his heart and it didn't end well.
No.
Charlie's having a friend over.
Aww.
He got better. Aang was determined to
He did.
understand the world's people, even the enemy Fire Nation. Something he accomplished thanks to the redeemed Prince Zuko, the Sun Warriors.
And these two honking dragons!
Hell
Aang was
yeah.
scared of firebending, but it's totally awesome. It's not just about burning and blowing shit up. Okay, well it is, but there's so
Yeah.
much more to it.
Formed from the explosive movements of Shaolin Kung Fu, firebending controls all manner of heat. And through the teachings of fire and water, he can redirect lightning bending, a burst of atmospheric discharge shot at over 200,000 miles per hour.
Damn.
Iroh, the best uncle ever, used his techniques to redirect natural lightning. So, you know it's the real deal. Not crazy enough?
Look at his
At
fucking
his
face.
peak, Aang surpassed benders who could throw buildings, melt stone, and hold up this gigantic library solo. Whooping Ozai's butt should be no problem, right?
You would think so.
Not exactly. You see, the air nomads were pacifists who believed in the value of life above all.
Yep.
Being the last airbender, Aang didn't think his people were truly gone unless he went back on their teachings. Meaning, he really
Yeah.
didn't want to kill Ozai.
So, what, he's just a coward now? Mr. Firelord is about to—
Not a coward, a pacifist. There is a difference. Okay. I mean, I get what you're saying. That, like, yeah, this guy's gonna destroy everyone, kill everything. But he doesn't have to kill him. If he can beat him and lock him up or something like that, that's good enough. You know, being a coward is, I mean, this is probably gonna get me a bunch of hate, but is how Gohan acted in the Cell games and stuff. He didn't like fighting. He was a pacifist. But when his dad thought he could save the world and put him up against a bug monster that they had to kill, there was no other option in that situation. He had to die. Gohan still held back. He still refused to give it his all because he was scared of what might happen. That was being a coward. It had nothing to do with him being a pacifist or being a child. It had to do with the fact that no one can make me fucking believe otherwise. He looked Cell dead in the face and basically tried to get him to give up because, oh, I might hurt you if I fucking get angry. Well, dude, he's gonna destroy the planet. And there's no jail or anything on Earth that could keep him locked up. Like, you have no choice but to kill him. And your dad isn't capable, apparently, and believes only you are. And instead, you're giving it your all, you're holding back. You're potentially letting people die, like Android 16, because you couldn't man up and fight. That's not what's happening here with Aang. He wants to stop him. He wants to beat him. But he doesn't want to kill him. Because he believes there has to be another way. With Cell, there was no other way. So Gohan was just being stupid and a coward and refusing to let go. And then when he did a complete 180 and became a fucking Vegeta.
Burn down the entire Earth Kingdom!
Not at all. Are you even listening? Aang was simply at odds with what he wanted and what the world expected, so he needed to make a choice.
Right. In his greatest challenge yet, Aang discovered his true self, making his spirit unbendable and finally mastering the Avatar state.
Making him as strong as avatars who could cause hurricanes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions.
Or in Avatar Kyoshi's case, a new island. As in, she broke off nearly 30 square miles of a peninsula to form a new landmass.
Yep.
But to defeat Ozai, Aang needed one final element, something few avatars had bent before.
Energy bending.
Not the easiest thing to do, but Aang totally overwhelmed Ozai, severing the tyrant's connection to fire and stopping his invasion, all while keeping his no-kill run intact. The ultimate FU to this warlord's ideology.
Now that the Fire Nation had
the youngest airbending master ever, wiped out an entire naval fleet, caught an explosion with airbending, redirected lightning from Fire Lord Ozai, lifted columns weighing thousands of tons, defeated Fire Lord Ozai, Azula, Zuko, Lian, and Yakon.
Cooled off? Ugh. Aang led a new era of peace with the United Republic of Nations, a place where all people could prosper and where a new generation and a new avatar would take the reins.
He even got hitched with Katara. Take that, Zutara shippers!
I will end you.
For all his doubts, Aang fulfilled the Avatar's destiny and then some, and he did it in a way that was true to who he was.
Because before being the Avatar, or even an airbender, the greatest thing he could ever be was himself.
Just shave his head with his fingers? The fuck?
Fun-loving kid.
Let's play!
Every story starts with a little imagination. With Sharpie, your imagination always finds a way to play. Take creativity to infinity and beyond with Sharpie.
No, I don't want to give kids Sharpies. Those shit are, that's permanent.
At plus 500, everything starts with a trader, built around your needs.
Skip.
The battle is coming up thanks to this episode's sponsor, DraftKings.
Time 1,000 spins him.
Gambler or visit Pennsylvania Spins per Dixie terms time.
Add extra barbecue sauce.
Add extra sauce. Welcome to Tevat, a mysterious land governed by godly archons that drew the eye of someone beyond the stars, Aether.
AKA the Traveler, who escaped his dying world with his sister.
Name, Aether. Age, thousands. Constellation, Viator. Member of the Adventurers Guild. Affiliations, Knights of Favonius and Benny's. Affiliations, Knights of Favonius, Benny's Adventure Team, Watsumi Army, Blazing Beasts, Legion of Soul Blazers, and Nightmare Orlays.
Lumine, in search of the flowers that bloomed on their lost home, only to crash land, awaken to an apocalypse, and get cubed by this jerk.
Separated from his sister, Aether awoke, again, in a new, less apocalyptic age, and fished up his own pathetic pet pixie, Paimon.
Yeah, she makes for good emergency food. With his new guide, Traveler to the windy country of Mondstadt to find his link to the past, but got a Breath of the Wild glider instead.
And his first element, Anemo, letting him make air slashes, tornadoes, and of course,
Windblade! But guess what? Traveler wasn't the only one with a power like this. Tevat was full of blessed people wielding these relic things called visions.
Vision bearers can imbue their weapons and bodies with elemental power, summon items, and use a special, vision to perceive the elements around them.
Normally, they're limited to a single element, but
Element Resonation. Anemo, Geo, Electro, Dendro, Hydro, Pyro, Phloxeton, Kuvaki, Abyssal Purification, Element Reactions, Elemental reactions, Elemental Sight, Item Summoning, Night Soul's Blessing, Teleportation, Serenian Indwelling, Spirit Breath Thorn, Xenochromatic abilities.
Traveler is just built different. Through Paimon's guidance, he began collecting elements from mysterious statues across Teyvat. No vision relic needed for him.
Each nation had a new culture, a new element, a new crisis.
And new character banners. When asked to play a sleuth for a murder case in Liyue, Traveler wasn't interested. A corpse couldn't tell him where his sis was, but he was roped in anyway and got the Geo ability to form rock constructs and eruptions of Earth.
When Aether ventured to Inazuma, he didn't care about its war with the Vision Bearers and their Archon either, until he saw the suffering caused by its tyrannical rule, and joined the resistance with electro abilities, fighting the powers that be using electric buzzsaws, thunder blades, and lightning.
He even learned to dodge lightning. Other electro users like my wife Lisa can conjure storms. No shock when my adopted daughter Klee made explosions that raised mountains. Traveler met all kinds of people like this. You know the type. Twinks.
Yeah, Teyvat has its own laws, Boomstick. Many twinks being one of them. Maybe 2 or 3 of them, actually.
Ringmaster.
Jeez.
Wiz, this guy's been playing Genshin since launch.
I know everything there is to know about the Genshin meta. Either can mix elements for different reactions. Basically, big elemental combinations. Geo crystallizes materials into special barriers. Electro mixed with water stuns foes. Animo spreads elements around in swirls of destruction. Boom!
Like how I combine beer and gunpowder.
Exactly,
What?
Boomstick. Using Dendro, Traveler can form plant life that, when mixed with water and lightning, makes homing beams. Yeah, run from that. With enough clever thinking and artifact farming, you can combine anything in Genshin.
Okay, we get it. Go lose another 50-50, you whale.
I'll show you a whale. Drop one on your lap next time you're not looking.
In Sumeru,
Drop
Traveler
one on your
later
lap
beat
next time you're not
Scaramouche,
looking.
an edgy catboy with multiple elements at his fingertips, all in a time loop that got repeated 168 times.
Speaking of time, Aether had control of more than just his own future. Teyvat's fate fundamentally changed in ways small and grand, all through his unending willpower.
Because the Traveler was a descender, someone unbound by the land's destiny. Even this big tree that records all of the world's events had no idea he existed.
Like when he helped defy the judgment of a biblical flood in Fontaine, where he mastered Hydro for his best Cuphead impression with water bullets.
Heck, a dinosaur chose not to blow up the world just because Paimon and Traveler befriended it. If that wasn't cool enough, Traveler can, unrelated, turn into a dinosaur. Hell yeah! Yo,
cool.
Look at him. Wonder if I could get a dinosaur on my Genshin team.
Through these legally distinct Pokemon, Aether can fly, dig through the earth, or...
Well, Aether typically requires a Saurian or Spirit Stone to indwell. He could become a Saurian with either in the without either in the Archon quest where all hope lies.
Charge foes like a Jurassic bull. He traveled across the land, searching far and wide, and finally stopped swinging that one-star dull blade.
Instead, picking up the prototype Rancor, which he wields like a beast thanks to the
Swords, Dull Blade, Amenomon Keijuchi, Calamity of Eshu, Festering Desire, Harbinger of Dawn, Moonweaver's Dawn, Prototype Rancor, Sapwood Blade, Silver Sword, Skyward Blade, Sword of Dissension, Sword of Narcissus Kenzeras, Artifact Sets, Gladiator's Finale, Album of Severed Fate, Obsidian Codex, Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City, Wind Glider, Cool Your Jets Ducky, various foods, potions, essential oils, and gadgets. No poisons? Okay.
Swordmaster Skirk.
I don't play Genshin Impact, so that was an actual
What
question.
a grind set. Still, Traveler's Cyst kept eluding him, choosing to hang in the shadows with these Gluminati folk.
A group from Conria, the nation cursed by the gods for messing with the Abyss. Unbeknownst to Aether, his sister had already traveled to Teyvat in a journey that mirrored his own.
And at the end, she found... Well, we don't...
The Commonwealth Games.
Let me guess, the game hasn't ended yet, so we don't know the ending, right?
really know. Not yet, at least. But whatever it is got her to side with the creepy villains. Last twist!
Eventually, Aether reached the nation of Natlan to fight in its never-ending war with the Abyss. He gained the Pyro element, learning to launch fireballs and explosions combined of flame with lightning.
He didn't just dabble in fancy pyrotechnics. By connecting with the people there, Traveler achieved Night Soul's Blessing, a power-up state fueled by primordial element juice, strong enough to make a blade of fire hundreds of feet long. Hell yeah, that's strong enough to take down the heart of the Abyss, which is on the level of 5-star waifus like Mawika and the Raiden Shogun.
An Archon who, in ages past, sliced Yashiori Island in two.
That's cool, but how about when this Venti guy threw a whole-ass mountain? According
Good
to
guy.
Paimon, Traveler can level a mountain himself.
This claim was directly compared to the strength of the Geo-Dragon Sovereign Azdaha, who Aether helped defeat.
Additionally, Aether learned how to use light energy to form a Kuvaki shield, something he used to protect the people of Nodcry by blocking a cannon blast with enough energy to obliterate a town.
This was no ordinary cannon either. It also uses Kavaki energy, so that's a beam of light.
Through all his adventures, Aether had come to genuinely care for Tevat's people. Maybe one day he will reunite with his sister, but for now, he's fighting for a whole new world. His new home.
Ooh, you need a higher adventure rank for that.
Don't you worry,
Always does his dailies for the guild, saved a little one from the Flame Lord's blessings, caught a giant mechanical hand trying to crush him, trained several days straight without any rest, shielded a town from a Kawaki beam, defeated Davalan, Tartagla, Signora, Scaramochi, all-devouring Narwhal, Gosothoth, and Dodaor.
I dumped all my savings into Primo Gems for this. We can't miss when those ice guys trying to kill the Traveler inevitably warm up to him. Still got it.
Oh, so that's why you're broke as shit.
To Aether, the journey has meaning. The birds of Tevat, the songs of its people, they are all part of it. Even if he's against the Abyss itself, a new dawn is somewhere just beyond the stars, and a field of flowers Lumine too loved. The battle's about to start, and if you like death battle music, some of your favorite
Eric, Ruby
play
for pre-order.
That's death.
It's time for a death battle!
Here we go.
Windblade!
Two elements?
Oh yeah, he's got way more than you, bro. I think the Traveler might end up beating Aang. Dude, really? Did you get off of him? Fucking kids, man. What was that?
What's going on? Paimon goes treasure hunting for 2 minutes. Now everything is going kaboom.
That was not called for, but...
Cool glider. Can it do this?
Introducing
Damn.
new paper-mate ink
Looks like Aang might win,
a gel
actually.
pen that even writes on black paper.
Because my favorite color is every color.
Come on, Traveler! Get up! Never, ever, ever stop moving forward! Remember!
No one fights alone.
Oh, alright. I think he's about to turn it around. Alright, he also hasn't used the Avatar state yet, right? They won't have him lose without using that. There we go. This is it. Trying to find out who wins.
For those who came before.
Oh shit.
And those who will follow.
Oh no.
I am Avatar Aang.
Looks
the
like
last Airbender.
Looks like the Traveler's fucked.
Take this.
Oh. Alright. Oh. Did he get him?
Through the heights and shallows. Through infinite dusks and dawns.
Yeah. Got his ass.
Way to go, Traveler! But does this mean no treasure?
Freaking Paimon.
And my dailies are done. What a mess.
This was an interesting pairing, so let's break this down by power, experience, speed, and elements.
First up, power. Aang and Traveler could both change the terrain of entire cities, and we're way stronger than characters that can break mountains. But at their peak, they're both tearing up islands.
Aang's avatar state made him on par with Kyoshi, who created and moved the island of Kyoshi. Similarly, Night Soul's Blessing let Aether contend with Archon-level foes like the Raiden Shogun, who split Yashiori Island in
Kazuha blocked the Mosai no Hichi with 2 elements. Aether has more elements. Night Soul's Blessing and has some restrictions lifted by Columbina. Aether has also survived a replication of the Mosai no Hichi used by Dotor, whose power has been compared to an Archon.
With an attack that even Vision Bearers weaker than Traveler can block. So he's definitely on that level.
Kyoshi Island is over 6 miles wide and long. Kyoshi moved the island 17 miles offshore in 2 seconds. So we have everything we need to calculate the amount of kinetic energy this
Even generally scaling to Aang even generally scaling Aang to the Moon Spirit. Aether scales to Varka, who aided in pulling down the Frost Moon.
Would require.
Turns out it's basically the same as cutting through Yashiori Island, about 3,000 gigatons of TNT. So their power is tied up.
Which means comparing their experience is crucial.
Aether's mastered more elements than Aang, but the Avatar state gave Aang centuries of knowledge.
With the memories and abilities of past avatars, Aang's kit was so extensive in a way Aether had no real answer for.
Not to mention, Aang's training was more focused. Travelers
Most of Aether's thousands of years were spent in a stasis, while the Avatar state grants Aang potentially 10,000 years of relevant combat knowledge.
skilled, sure, but his training was mostly just a means to finding his sister, while Aang's journey was all about mastering elements to combat other elements.
Experience narrowly goes to Aang. However,
Alright.
another important factor to consider is speed.
In terms of mobility, both could roughly match the other. If Traveler was immobilized with earthbending, he could just dig his way out as a dinosaur.
And Aang's airbending and glider meant he could easily counter Aether if he took flight.
But in terms of raw reaction speed, Traveler had it in the bag. Aang bending
Makes
away
sense.
lightning is crazy fast, but Traveler could dodge lightning much earlier in his journey, and now he can block that light-speed Kuvaki laser.
While lightning can move over 200,000 miles per hour, a beam of light can move 186,000 miles per second.
Over 3,000 times faster than Aang.
Damn.
Traveler takes speed by a landslide.
So this all came down to the elements. Who could turn the forces of nature against the other?
At first, I actually thought this was Aang's dub.
Aether's elemental
I
control
mean,
is
that's a fair
remarkable,
assumption.
but most of his attacks are projectiles, spires, and very specific implements that Aang has bent away in the past. Aether has never shown the precision or creative flexibility that we've seen with Aang's bending.
But throw in the combos of elemental reactions and the script flips. Traveler could mix not just his elements, but also Aang's in ways that Aang could not. Bending was Aang's greatest strength, but also, against Traveler, a weakness.
Because Aang usually had one or more elements around him, it gave Aether an easy access point through these combinations. When Aang used fire, Aether could use lightning to catch him in an overload. If Aang used water, Traveler's electrocharge could paralyze him, and so on.
This isn't just a gameplay thing. Genshin characters like the lovely
Elemental reactions are also mentioned by Prune in the Phantasal Pals event quest, and her feelings about Ascension intro voiceover, so they are still canon in the modern
Lisa
content.
canonically say this is how the elements work.
And unlike Aang, Aether has fought multiple people who can use multiple elements. The
Yeah.
longer the fight went on, the more Aether would trip Aang up with these combinations, some of which Aang could not bend.
Aang could redirect lightning, sure, but what about electro buzzsaws, or an electrified tornado, or dendroblasts of pure plant energy?
The Kavaki shield especially gave Aether a strong defense to fall back on. Since it was made of pure light, Aang had no way to remove it outside of brute force.
By comparison, Aang's wind barrier wouldn't block Traveler's elements. It would actually merge with them and create more combos that would target Aang himself. Not a great situation to be in.
And since
Various animo characters in Genshin Impact infuse elements into their wind creations, such as Lan Yang, combining elements with her wind
Aether's
shield.
powers came from external earthly sources, like those statues, Aang could not depower him with energy bending, even
Makes
if
sense.
he theoretically overcame Aether's willpower.
Willpower that is strong enough to alter the fate of the entire world. Sorry, Aang, but elements goes to the Traveler. Cinching his victory. Either way you cut it, he was in his element.
The winner is the Traveler, Aether.
Okay, I'm ready for my cameo. Oh.
What the fuck? It's Dummy. It's been so long since we've seen you, man.
Next time on Death Battle.
Oh, who's next? Brick by Real Brick. Oh my god, it's a Lego and fucking like Bionicle thing.
Subscribe and
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. That's gonna be great. It's been so long since I've seen anything to do with Bionicles.
join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
That should be an interesting fight.
And just like that, this
I don't care. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, check back, on Wednesday for, your regular scheduled, singles. But after that, starting, I guess Sunday's the beginning of the week, right? Some people count it. Starting next week, I'll be changing the schedule up a bit. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all that fun stuff. Check out Death Battle, of course. All they're amazing. As you can tell, their battles are going crazy lately, and that next one should be pretty awesome. Yeah, I think that's it. Have a good one, guys, and peace out.